On day 1, I spawned into the alien fields as Pikachu, the world's most iconic Pokemon. Pikachu! Pikachu! Phew, sorry, allergies. At least I'm starting off with 10 hearts. That's pretty cool. I wonder if I have any powers. Suddenly, I activated my lightning attack and zapped a nearby tree. What a cool starting power! I have electricity powers, just like the real Pikachu. This is gonna be so much fun. But how come I'm the only Pikachu here? Are there any others? But instead of other Pikachu, I saw a big, scary Enderman wandering towards me.
Whoa, a real Pikachu. I thought Broden was just bluffing, but he really did manage to conjure us a Pikachu. How exciting!
Broden? What are you talking about? I'm Zozo. I just got here.
What? It can talk? Gross. That's weird. Broden isn't going to be happy with a defective Pikachu. I better destroy you.
I have no idea what's going on here, but I'm gonna get out as quickly as I can. So I did, turning and running away from the Enderman before he or his mysterious buddy Broden could destroy me. Alrighty, this doesn't seem like a nice place for a Pikachu to be. I took a second to rest when a skeleton came shambling towards me. Not today, Boney. With a zap of my lightning powers, the skeleton was gone. I found somewhere that seemed relatively calm and decided to lay down to rest. I know I'm not meant to be here, but I need to figure out why before I can escape. On day 2, I woke up and decided that I couldn't afford to just sit around and mope about being trapped in this weird world. I need to figure out a solution to my predicament, but first, I need to get myself some tools. With a lot of effort, I broke down a tree until I could make enough planks and sticks to make a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined into the ground and collected enough stone to craft myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. Okay, I can't deny that a little Pikachu holding a big stone sword looks really funny. I don't think I'm gonna be able to intimidate anyone like this. Still, with my new tools, I decided to search around until I found an iron golem standing at a campfire, chillin'. He saw me, but he didn't try to chase or attack me. That was a good sign. Excuse me, Mr. Iron Golem, could you explain what's going on around here?
Sure, but first, answer this question for me. Am I dreaming right now?
I don't think so.
So, I'm actually seeing a talking Pikachu right now. Huh, this has gotta be the work of Broden the Conjurer.
Broden, that weird Enderman told me about him. What's his deal?
He's kind of a weird dude. He's a really powerful conjurer, but he's super greedy and possessive. He just uses powers to summon stuff for himself. And if he's not happy with it, he or his goons destroy it.
Yikes, then I guess I gotta stop him before he has a chance to destroy me.
Right on, little dude.
I noticed I was hungry, and the Iron Golem gave me some nice apples to sate my hunger. It was relieving to know that there were still good people out here. On day 3, after leaving the spacey Iron Golem with his campfire, I went off searching for somewhere to live in the alien fields. I should probably start building my base, but man, that's gonna be so much work, especially for a teeny little Pikachu like me. But that's when I had a stroke of good luck. I found a broken down hut in a clearing. Wait, maybe I can clean this place up rather than making a whole base from scratch. That'll be perfect for me. I started cleaning up the mess and rebuilding the broken parts of the base. It felt like some bizarro Pokemon Home Reno show, but by the time I was done, things were coming along really well. I could see myself staying here. But suddenly, I was interrupted by a vicious killer rabbit running towards me. A creature that weird must have been created by that weird Broden guy, just like me. I zapped the nasty killer rabbit with my lightning powers, then finished it off with my new stone sword. What's down, Duck? It's you. You're down, cause I defeated you. I really need to work on my witty quips. Defeating the rabbit also gave me enough XP to level up. I evolved into a bigger, stronger Pikachu with 20 hearts. Awesome! I really am a Pikachu, and I'm feeling stronger already. With that victory under my belt, I spent the rest of my day watching my favorite show. What an eventful day. From day 4 to day 5, I ventured back into the depths of the alien fields to collect more materials for expanding my base. Electricity-based attacks may be what I'm known for, but it turns out I'm a master carpenter. Who knew? While collecting more stone and chopping down more wood, I heard a rustling and stopped. I turned and saw the same long, lanky Enderman who'd hassled me when I first spawned. Oh no, not you again!
Oh yeah, it's me! Bet you never thought you'd see me again!
I just hoped I'd never see you again. Why do you work for this Broden guy anyway? What does he actually want?
He wants everything, and he can get it too, cause he's a conjurer. Get it? He conjures stuff, and he also conjures things for his friends, like me.
Then why does he want to destroy me? If he can just make himself another Pikachu, can't he just let me go?
He's a perfectionist. If Broden can't have exactly what he wants, he'll destroy everything. That's why I need to destroy you now.
The time for talk was over. I fired a lightning strike at the Enderman, and he fought back. It was a tense battle, but this time I wasn't running. I defeated the Enderman and headed back to my base. This Broden guy sounds like no fun at all. From day 6 to day 8, I entered a cave, feeling confident enough to venture into the depths and get myself some cool new materials. After all, with a cool stone pickaxe, I can finally mine iron ore. This wasn't just some shallow cave though, it kept going and going and going. I had a feeling that I could get lost down here if I wasn't careful. It's so eerie to be alone here. But sadly, I wasn't alone. There was a big, scary wither waiting for me, and it blasted some wither skulls at me. I took a few hits, then returned fire, attacking relentlessly until the wither was no more. I definitely didn't want to run into another one of those. Instead, I went just a little deeper into the cave. There, I found some iron ore and quickly mined a bunch of it. I took it back to my base and smelted it, and created myself a brand new iron sword and iron pickaxe. This plucky Pikachu is armed and dangerous. From day 9 to day 10, I decided it was time for a change of scenery, so I traveled out to the Badlands, which were hot and dry compared to the alien fields. Still, what a view! However, I wasn't able to take in the view for long, as I was approached by a mysterious figure, an illager from faraway lands. As I approached, I felt a strange energy coming off of him, like he was oddly familiar. Hi there, I'm Zozo. Do I know you from somewhere? I'm getting the weirdest sense of deja vu right now.
You've probably heard of me. I'm the great Broden, impresario, part-time psychic, noted indie singer-songwriter, and conjurer extraordinaire.
Oh no, you're Broden?
Oh yes, I'm Broden, and you belong to me. Time to go, little Pikachu. You can never send an Enderman to do a conjurer's job.
I tried to zap him with my lightning, but it didn't seem to affect him. And with one hit from him, I was already on the ropes. All I could do was run off into the Badlands as fast as I could, until I didn't see Broden the Conjurer anywhere behind me. It was the most stressful day yet. I'm gonna need to become a lot stronger before I'm ready to fight this guy. After a day of aimless wandering, I ended up running into another weird creature, an iron chicken, and we seem to have something in common.
Broden the Conjurer created me too. He thought the idea of an iron chicken was funny, but then after a week, he got bored of me and tried to destroy me. I was lucky to escape with my life.
This guy is a monster. Say, wanna come back to my base with me? Us weird conjured creatures ought to stick together if we wanna survive. And as we get stronger, we can work towards defeating him together.
Sounds good to me, Zozo. Let's go.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the Iron Chicken. He needed somewhere to stay, so I took the time to build him a new room. Thankfully, with him being a little Iron Chicken, it didn't need to be a very big room. When I was finished, he was eager to get some shut-eye in there.
Thanks, Zozo. This is so much nicer than just wandering around the Badlands.
But while the Iron Chicken slept, I realized I still had a major headache from where Broden the Conjurer hit me. I'm too small for regular armor, but I should probably at least create a helmet to protect my head. I ventured back into the same mining cave from before and descended in. It was just as dark and scary as before, but thankfully this time, there was no wither to bother me. I mined some iron ore to take back to my base and smelt, but on the way back, I was attacked by an angry Pigarus. None of my attacks were powerful enough to hurt him, so I was forced to retreat further back into the cave. I needed a way to defeat him, but I was scared of getting too close and being defeated myself. That's when I found just what I needed, laying around in the cave. A bow and some arrows? Perfect! I went back and used the bow to defeat the Pigarus at a safe distance before running back out of the cave with my hard-earned iron ore. I returned to my base and smelted the iron and used it to craft an iron helmet. This should come in handy the next time I take a knock to the noggin. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke more to the Iron Chicken about his experiences with Broden the Conjurer. Knowledge is power, and the more I knew about him, the more chance I'd have of finding a weakness. So, Iron Chicken, what was it like when he spawned you?
Well, just like you, I spawned in out of nowhere, and Broden was waiting for me. At first, he seemed so nice and kind and happy to see me. He was a little kooky, but honestly, I liked him. But little by little, over time, I could tell something was off. And one day, he attacked me and tried to destroy me, just because he was bored of me. He's incredibly powerful, so if I hadn't moved quickly like I did, I would have been doomed. He's kind when he wants you, and unimaginably cruel when he doesn't. I can only imagine some of the scary things he's conjured over the years.
After hearing the Iron Chicken's story, I felt a chill go down my Pokemon's spine. If he was really that powerful, how could I have any real chance of defeating him? Especially at my current strength level. I'm kind of beginning to wish I hadn't asked now. From day 16 to day 19, I woke up to some shocking news. The Iron Chicken had gone missing. Oh no, I need to find and save him. I wonder where he could be. Strangely, there was a terrible smell lingering. Maybe the Iron Chicken had been kidnapped by some kind of really stinky assailant? I followed the smell as it got stronger and stronger. A day later, I arrived in the bamboo jungle, where the smell was particularly strong. I'm so lucky that this mysterious kidnapper never showers. From there, it didn't take me very long to hunt down the stinky kidnapper. It was a huge, scary vile ogre. You're the one who kidnapped my friend. How dare you?
Oh, get over it. Kidnapping your foolish metal chicken friend is the best way to get leverage with Broden the Conjurer. If I return his chicken to him, maybe he'll give me whatever I want.
I'm never gonna let that happen. I fought hard against the stinky vile ogre, using my powers and my iron sword to defeat him. Soon enough, only I remained. This gave me enough XP to level up and evolve again, getting bigger, tougher, going up to 30 hearts. Every day, I'd get a little bigger and tougher. Then, the Iron Chicken ran out from behind the bamboo.
Zozo, that was amazing! I was watching you from behind the bamboo. Thanks for saving me from that stinky weirdo.
No problem, IC. Head back to the base. We'll talk again later. I'm gonna keep exploring the bamboo jungle. The Iron Chicken left, and I continued looking around. It was a nice, calming place. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants. That's something to aspire to. Over the course of the journey, I ran into a pair of aggressive skeletons. Without any hesitation, I used my lightning to take out the two bony fiends. And shortly after those two were gone, a genie floated out towards me.
Good work defeating those skeletons, Zozo. They were really spoiling the view.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know many things. I also know of your quest to defeat Broden the Conjurer. I may have some information that will help you along the way if you'll hear me out, little Pokemon.
Of course, please, tell me more.
A special food item. One that will give you the power you need to surpass the Conjurer. The Dynamax Candy.
Dynamax Candy? But where can I find it?
I'm afraid I've said too much already. Good luck, Zozo. May we meet again someday.
And with that, the genie left, and I was left alone again. I need to find that Dynamax Candy somehow. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my base to find some skeletons waiting for me. They must have been angry at me for taking out their skeleton buddies back in the bamboo jungles. The skeletons attacked, but now I was strong enough to pretty easily defeat them all. I returned to my room to relax. Iron Chicken came in to talk to me.
You wanted to see me, Zozo?
Yeah, I've had an idea for a statue, something we can build to help inspire us. I know just the thing. Iron Chicken was so eager to get started that he went off to begin while I was still resting. By the time I left my room to take a look, he'd already made some amazing progress. This looks incredible, Iron Chicken.
Thank you, Zozo. I just thought you had such a great idea. I felt completely inspired.
Take a load off now. I'll add a little myself. After the Iron Chicken left to rest, I added a little extra to the statue before calling it a day. Still, Iron Chicken and I had made some pretty amazing progress. Can you tell what it's gonna be yet? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want more Zozo adventures, sub and hit that bell to never miss another one. From day 23 to day 26, a wild Enderman approached me as I was taking in the scenery of my base.
Pikachu, I'll get you.
I've got plenty of Thundershocks, so come and get it! The Enderman attacked, and I was able to fight back effectively by using my electrical attacks. After I destroyed the Enderman with a lightning strike, it dropped a whole bunch of shark tooth arrows. Way cool! I always thought I'd have to be a surfing Pikachu to get a hold of this many shark teeth. Afterwards, I headed out through the Badlands to give the shark tooth arrows a shot. The next Enderman I find will be no match for a Pikachu with arrows. I was shooting some weak skeletons to test the weapon when I came across a wandering trader carrying an inventory full of goods. Good afternoon, wandering trader.
Actually, my name is Wally. I am in fact a wandering trader. I've been wandering through these dangerous badlands and looking for a nice safe base to peddle my wares. Do you know anywhere like that?
I do. I happen to be the owner of a prime secret base located in the alien fields.
That sounds promising, as long as it's safe.
You won't be disappointed. I'm Zozo, by the way. I brought Wally to the base and built a small storefront where he could sell his items. I wanted to make extra special sure that it was as safe as he wanted it to be. It turns out that Wally had the same idea. By the time I was done constructing his store, the wandering trader had built a perimeter wall around the entire base.
Better safe than sorry, you know.
You got that right. From day 27 to day 31, I talked a bit more with Wally the wandering trader. I figured someone as well-traveled as him would probably know many things about the world that my Pikachu self wouldn't.
Ask me anything you wish, Zozo. Information is free of charge.
Have you ever heard of a special food item called the Dynamax candy?
The Dynamax candy? I've certainly heard stories about it. They say that whoever eats it gains the ability to grow into a gigantic version of themselves with unbelievable power.
That sounds like exactly what I would need to turn the tables on Brodin the Conjurer. Can you tell me where I can find it?
I don't know exactly where it is, but there is a pixie in the bamboo jungle to the east who I heard the stories of the Dynamax candy from. If you can find her, maybe she knows more.
A bamboo jungle, huh? I've been there before. I gathered all my best gear and went back towards the bamboo jungle, just like Wally the Wandering Trader suggested. It was a far journey for a Pikachu, but I was a little bigger and stronger than I was at the start of my Pokemon journey. But just because I was a higher level didn't mean the challenges wouldn't get tougher as well. The Vindicator standing in my way was proof of that.
Not so fast there, Pikachu. You may be one of the world's most famous mice, but you're not getting past me.
I guess you're not a Poke fan. Oh well, if you're gonna fight me, then I'm gonna win. Thunderbolt! I used my Lightning Strike to make a first impression, then hit the Vindicator several times with my Iron Sword. He tried to fight back, but my attacks were much faster.
Ouch! Why does Pikachu always get what Pikachu wants?
The Vindicator ran away to fight another day. I wondered if we'll end up crossing paths again. From day 32 to day 35, I continued my journey through the bamboo jungle until I was able to meet up with the pixie that Wally the Wandering Trader had mentioned. Hey there, I heard you might know about the Dynamax candy.
Oh, wow, you're a Pikachu. I'm a huge fan. I never thought I'd meet you in person. Well, in Pixie.
Thank you, that's very nice. But I was hoping you could tell me about the Dynamax candy.
Yeah, I know all about it. Can I have your autograph first?
I feel like this conversation is going in circles. While I was trying to get more specifics out of the pixie, we were interrupted by the sudden appearance of Brodin the Conjurer.
That's my Pikachu. Go make your own. Besides, it's a defective Pikachu anyway. I'm here to destroy it so I can make a better one.
Both of us ran for cover to hide from him. Once I was hidden, I noticed that the pixie was also in my hiding spot. It's too dangerous. You should get away from here while I distract him.
No way. He just said he wanted to destroy you. That's a really rude thing to do to anyone, especially a Pikachu.
I'll be fine. I've gotten away from him before. You should go to my base. We'll talk about the Dynamax candy there.
I get to go to Pikachu's base? Woohoo! If you make it back there, I'll tell you everything I know about the Dynamax candy.
Pixie flew away, leaving the area of the battle. Without having to worry about her safety, I could escape Brodin the Conjurer on my own.
Come out, Zozo. I'm going to destroy you.
You'll have to catch me first. I fired a few lightning strikes at him to confuse him and ran for another hiding spot. Brodin began to follow me, so I used a lightning strike on a different block of bamboo jungle to confuse him.
Where are you hiding?
Once he didn't know about my hiding spot, I used my Pikachu speed to flee from battle. From day 36 to day 39, I was back at my base, building a small nest for my new pixie friend to live.
Thanks for letting me stay at your base. As promised, I'll tell you everything about the Dynamax candy.
I've been looking forward to hearing you say that.
The Dynamax candy has been hidden for a very long time because its power could be devastating in the wrong hands. But the old spellcaster who hid it away wrote down its true location in his book of secrets. That way, if it ever needed to be used to defeat a great evil, there would be a way to retrieve it.
That's exactly what I need it for. Where did this old spellcaster used to live?
In the Blue Giant Taiga. His book of secrets should still be there. But be warned, no one who has gone to the Blue Giant Taiga has ever returned.
I'm not just anyone. I'm a Pikachu. It should be no problem for me.
By the way, I saw you were working on a statue, and I made some additions to it.
I went and looked at the statue to see what they had added, and was very impressed by what I saw. That's some excellent building there, Pixie.
I wanted to do what I could to make this the best Pikachu base ever.
From day 40 to day 43, I went to visit the storefront of Wally the Wandering Trader that I built into my base. What's happening, Wally?
Zozo, good to see you. I've actually heard of an intriguing rumor about a nearby cave. It is said to contain a small fortune in diamonds.
Whoa, diamonds! Having some of those would go a long way towards better gear. I better go check this out.
Yes, but be careful. It is said that a hydra has made its lair in the cave and is eating everyone who tries to take the diamonds.
I went to the cave that Wally the Wandering Trader had mentioned, and just like he said, there were plenty of diamonds ripe for mining. Didn't he also say there was a... I heard the many heads of a hydra roar as the monster showed itself. A hydra! That's what Wally warned me about. At first, I tried using my sword, but then I remembered that hydras can easily regenerate their heads. So I dodged back and tried my lightning strike. It was a tough fight, and I had to keep avoiding the hydra's attacks, but I took the beast down and was able to claim the treasure inside the cave. I mined the diamonds and decided to give both my sword and pickaxe a long-awaited upgrade. Now I had a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe. From day 44 to day 49, I arrived in the blue giant taiga, the dangerous biome from which nobody was said to return. There's a first time for everything though. I journeyed through the terrain until I encountered a dread scuttler. My speed was much higher, so I kept my distance and pelted it with shark tooth arrows. Once the dread scuttler was weak enough, I used a lightning strike to finish it off. The mobs here are definitely tough. I'd better stay on guard.
Oh, skeletons! No, have mercy!
The voice was coming from a fiery hippogriff who was being chased by a band of evil-looking skeletons. I decided that I should help him out. Back off, you nasty skeletons! I'm a Pikachu with a diamond sword, and I'm not afraid to use it! It was no easy feat to defeat them all, but when I managed to win, the fiery hippogriff was really impressed with my strength in battle.
Wow, I've never seen a Pikachu fight like that. I've actually never seen a Pikachu either.
I'm Zozo. I was actually conjured here by the evil Broden, and I'm looking for a book of secrets here in the blue giant taiga.
Oh, I've heard of that. I was actually the old spellcaster's prized fiery hippogriff. We were as close as a trader and a Pokemon.
Oh, that's awesome! Can you take me to the book?
Sadly, it's been a long time since the old spellcaster was alive, and I've been chased around by the tundra's monsters ever since. I bet we can get closer to the book if we retrace my steps, though.
From day 50 to day 53, I followed the fiery hippogriff as he led me deeper into the blue giant taiga in the hopes that we could find any of his old master's belongings that could lead us to the book.
Hey, Zozo, if this goes well, do you think you could introduce me to Charizard? I've always wanted to meet him.
I actually don't know any other Pokemon, even though I'm a Pikachu. But let's not worry about that now. I'm sure Charizard would be proud to know you.
Oh, shucks. I sure hope so.
A little later, the fiery hippogriff and I split up to cover more ground, and I ran into the Vindicator, who gave me some trouble at the bamboo forest. How many times do I need to teach you a lesson, Vindicator?
There won't be a lesson. I'll be vindicated in the end, because I am a Vindicator.
The only thing you are is going down! We battled, and I easily took him out using my diamond sword. I decided to continue searching the area of the blue giant taiga I was in. But with so much ground to cover, it felt like I was getting nowhere. If only the old spellcaster was here himself to tell me how to find his old stuff.
Actually, I am!
A ghost!
Yes, I may be a ghost, but before that, I was the old spellcaster who hid the Dynamax candy.
But you could just tell me directly where the Dynamax candy is hidden away.
Oh, yeah. Well, the truth is, I kind of forgot where it was.
Guess I'll have to keep looking for your book then.
I guess so. But know this, young Pikachu, strength does not come from your size. It comes from the size of your strength.
From day 54 to day 57, I returned to my base and found that all my friends had been expanding it with new sections since I was away. Wally had created a marketplace so that other merchants could sell things here in the future. Excellent market, Wally. You might start bringing in some trainers as customers.
Thanks, Zozo. Consider yourself the company mascot.
Never heard that one before. Next, I visited the Pixie, who had built a Pikachu fan club where all of my biggest fans can hang out.
And I'm the club president.
Afterwards, the Iron Chicken approached me with some not-so-good news.
A Dreadghoul came by and did some damage to the base before we made our expansions, and he ran off with a diamond helmet that I crafted for you.
I went out into the alien field to hunt down that dread ghoul and reclaim the diamond helmet that was stolen from my base. It wasn't that long until I found the mob, and with my lightning strikes I was able to destroy it without getting too close. When it went down, it dropped Iron Chicken's diamond helmet. It was a gift for me after all. I'm sure he'll let me keep it. From day 58 to day 62, I was woken up from a nap by Iron Chicken, who wanted to show me how the construction on the statue was progressing.
Since we're not conjurers, everything we make takes hard work.
And hard work pays off. The statue is looking fantastic so far. I walked around the statue to get a closer look and noticed to my shock that an Enderman was standing right there. What are you doing here?
What else? I'm here to bring down this Pikachu base for our boss, Broden the Conjurer, and I'm gonna destroy you too.
Just try it, Enderman. I zapped the Enderman with my lightning strikes, frying him up like a toasty puffin. Who is next? I heard the other Endermen wreaking havoc across the alien fields, so I quickly rushed out of my base to deal with the Enderman menace. I defeated all the Endermen that had been attacking around the base very quickly by using my lightning strikes, and quickly searched inside the base to see if every one of my friends were still alive. Unfortunately, the Endermen had done their worst, and I saw Wally destroyed by an Enderman! The Enderman ran away, and I vowed revenge! From day 63 to day 66, I went back to the blue giant taiga in order to find the Book of Secrets. The sooner I can eat that Dynamax candy, the sooner I can defeat Broden and save everyone from his cruelty. After a lot more searching, I found the book pinned to a tree. I picked the book up and read what was inside. The Dynamax candy must be kept out of the clutches of evil because it could grant any being that eats it the ability to grow gigantic. Therefore, I am leaving it in the trusted care of my spellcasting apprentice, Broden the Conjurer. No, the Dynamax candy is with Broden. That's the worst place it could be. An Enderman ran up behind me, ready to fight. Somehow I knew it was the same one that had destroyed Wally the Wandering Trader. I got ready for a fight.
So, you found the book. Too bad it won't do you any good.
I learned plenty, Enderman, and I'm not scared of you or your boss.
How adorable. Now suffer like your friend did.
The Enderman attacked me with his long arms, so I countered with my diamond sword. I knew agility would be the key to winning this fight, so I circled around him and landed hit after hit. This is for Wally! Now that I had gotten revenge, it was time to pay the spot I was conjured into a visit. From day 67 to day 70, I went to the alien fields and found the enemy base in the form of a magical mansion. It was guarded by an Enderman, so I just knew that it had to be where Broden had been entrusted to guard the Dynamax candy. There was no sign of the conjurer himself, so I snuck in and began to search through the entire base. Because I was quick and nimble, I easily avoided all of the Enderman guards until I ran into a mutant Enderman who spotted me immediately.
You can't hide from me, you defective Pikachu. I'm going to do what the others couldn't and destroy you once and for all.
The mutant Enderman's attack were much stronger than the ordinary kind. If I didn't have my diamond helmet, I would have already been down for the count. I was losing hearts fast, and my electric attacks were barely doing anything to him. This is what my shark tooth arrows are for. I switched to my bow and hit the mutant Enderman with a bunch of arrows. Then I attacked with my diamond sword.
Now I see why Broden has been having so much trouble with you.
Don't take me lightly just because I'm a Pikachu. I began to use my lightning strikes again, and this time they seemed to be having an effect. I didn't let up on my sword either, and made sure this mutant Enderman felt the sting of every one of my attacks.
You may have beaten me this time, but I'll end you next time.
The mutant Enderman retreated. I guess just because he was bigger and more mutated than the others didn't mean he was anything to be scared of. From day 71 to day 74, I proceeded to the treasure room of the enemy base, now that the mutant Enderman was out of my way. I expected that the Dynamax candy would be there, but it wasn't there. Of course, Broden must have given up on his responsibilities a long time ago. The old spellcaster trusted him, and he turned totally evil. Not cool at all. Meanwhile, somewhere else in the base, Broden was laughing about the fact that I couldn't find the Dynamax candy.
That foolish Pikachu thought I'd keep the Dynamax candy. I threw that thing out years ago. Who needs to guard the item that can defeat evil when you are evil?
From day 75 to day 78, I made a swift return to my base and found that the Pixie and the Iron Chicken had done some more work on the base. Pixie had refurbished the shop where Wally the Wandering Trader had once sold his items and had made it into a Pokemon-themed gift store.
Isn't this great? Now everybody who comes to visit the base will be able to have their own Pikachu merchandise.
That's a really good idea. Wally would have wanted us to keep using his store. Iron Chicken's improvement was another form of defense. He reinforced the walls of the base to make them even more fortified.
No Enderman is gonna get through this, Zozo.
Actually, I think there is one who could get through. I better make sure he doesn't try anything funny. It turns out, I was right to suspect that mutant Enderman would try to break through our walls.
We have unfinished business, and I intend to finish that business.
Not if I finish it first. I let loose a barrage of shark-tooth arrows on the mutant Enderman, which did a lot of damage. You should have run while you had the chance. Pikachu! I used my lightning attack to weaken the mutant Enderman, then used my sword to deliver the final strike. I did it! My victory in the battle made me into an even higher level Pikachu with greater electrical power and speed. I could now perform a Mega Jump move that would get me free of any enemy's range of attack. And I've got 50 hearts now too! I also noticed that the mutant Enderman dropped a hint when he was defeated, a page that was ripped out of the Book of Secrets. The only place to dispose of the Dynamax candy is in the fires of the Badlands. From day 79 to day 84, I went to the Badlands to follow the hint from the torn page. This place was where I first encountered Broden the Conjurer. Maybe the reason why he was here was to throw away the Dynamax candy so it could never be used against him. I didn't see anything that looked like the Dynamax candy, but I did notice a siren who was also scouting the area. Hey, are you looking for the Dynamax candy too?
So, you figured me out. I heard something about Broden throwing away a powerful weapon here, and I want to grab it so I can get revenge on him.
Don't tell me, you're another conjured being like me?
You got that right. Broden wanted to have me to himself until he didn't. I'm sure you must know the same pain, Pikachu?
I do! Maybe if we team up, we can take him down together!
Sorry, but there's only one candy, and I've got a sweet tooth.
The siren fired laser beams at me, and I knew that I had to fight back. I Mega jumped up and used the lightning strikes to weaken the foe before attacking with my diamond sword and winning. I didn't want to defeat you, Siren. You and I were the same.
No, we're not. You're stronger. And because of that, I'm going to tell you that Broden probably took the Dynamax candy back to its rightful place.
Why would he do that after he tried to destroy it?
At first, I didn't know. I was just as confused as you were when I couldn't find it here. Back then, I saw how strong you were. You were the only thing Broden had conjured that might actually threaten him. So I'm sure he got the candy back in case he needs to use it on you.
From day 85 to day 89, I returned to the Blue Giant Taiga and began to make my preparations to go face Broden the Conjurer at his base. I knew he'd be stronger than any of his minions, so I enlisted the help of the Fiery Hippogriff to get more information about Broden. Your former master used to train Broden in spellcasting. Is there anything you can tell me about why he might have gone evil?
From what I can remember, the old spellcaster used to say that magic is for solving problems, not for making them. And I think Broden disagreed.
So even though he conjured everything he wanted, he was really just making problems for himself?
Pretty much. He always had second thoughts after he conjured something because nothing he made could ever be good enough. This was especially true when he made the Dynamax candy.
Broden made the Dynamax candy?
Yeah, I think he did. And it was the one thing he made that he couldn't destroy.
But he won't use it either. So if I can eat it, I'll be able to crush him. Thanks for your help, Fiery.
Good luck. Do what the old spellcaster couldn't and teach Broden a lesson.
From day 90 to day 94, I went into the same cave where I found the diamonds so I could gather materials for my strongest gear yet. In the darkest depths of the cave, I found a chest that contained a netherite ingot. These will do the trick. I used a nearby smithing table and combined the netherite with my diamond sword to upgrade it to a netherite sword. This weapon will be the one I'll use to break through Broden's base defenses and take the Dynamax candy for myself. From day 95 to day 97, I visited my friends at the base to tell them that it was almost time for me to leave. First, I visited Pixie, who had been looking at the statue and thinking about how to upgrade it.
Hey, Zozo! The statue is almost done, but it needs a Pikachu's touch to be complete.
I've got you covered, Pixie. I went to the statue and did the remaining work that was needed. The full version was a statue of Ash Ketchum, Pikachu's trainer from the very beginning. When I looked at the statue, there was only one thought that echoed through my mind. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
You already are the best in my eyes.
Thanks, Pixie. I said goodbye to her, then went to go see how Iron Chicken was doing.
Is it almost time to face off against Broden?
You know it, buddy. On day 98, I was still talking with Iron Chicken about the upcoming battle with Broden the Conjurer. It felt like we had been through so much in this crazy world ever since we were conjured into it, and soon our troubles would be coming to an end. You're like a brother to me, Iron Chicken. I hope you know that.
The same to you, Zozo. I say that we end this battle together as brothers. When you go to face Broden, I want to be there right by your side.
Of course, you'll always be welcome on my adventures. And so will you when you watch me out there. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can check out my other adventures. Don't forget to leave a comment about what I should do next. On day 99, Iron Chicken and I left the base and crossed the alien fields to arrive at Broden the Conjurer's magical lair. Are you ready for this, Iron Chicken?
Let's do this, my brother in conjuration! I can't wait to defeat Broden once and for all.
Yeah, we may have been brought into this world by a mean guy who didn't even want us, but we got to meet each other, and now we're a family. We entered the enemy compound and fought off some weak skeletons, which were effortlessly ground into bones by my netherite sword. No bones about it. Even Iron Chicken was able to take down a bunch of skeletons by himself.
Zozo, I'm tough as iron, but I think you should continue on alone.
All right, I'll make sure to end this, once and for all. On day 100, the last couple Endermen that Broden the Conjurer had left tried to stand in the way.
Curse you, darn Pikachu! You've sent us blasting off again and again, but not this time!
By now, my electrical attacks were very capable of roasting the Endermen without much difficulty, so I cleared a path for myself to keep moving. Before long, I had reached the room where the Dynamax candy was stored. There it was, sweet as candy. I had to have it. Time to Pikachu on this candy. I love puns. I gobbled up the candy and grew to gigantic size. I had become my mightiest form of all, Gigantamax Pikachu. I had 80 hearts and felt like my lightning was stronger than ever. Shortly after I ate the Dynamax candy, Broden entered the room.
No! What have you done? You've gained the power of the Dynamax candy!
I sure have. What now, Broden?
How about this?
He rushed towards me and dealt a heavy blow, but I was adamant to defeat him. So I countered with lightning strikes and brought my netherite sword into the fight with a vengeance.
I conjured you into this world, and I can unconjure you!
No, you don't, Broden. This Pikachu is a free Pokemon. I hit him with my sword and then delivered the final strike of Max Lightning, taking him out for good. Guess it's all Pika now. On day 1, I spawned into the red desert as Diamond Venom, the symbiote with major swag. Whoa, and I've started with 20 hearts? That must be because of my diamond hard skin. Even though I'm a baby Venom, I'm one tough baby. But I didn't get to enjoy all this for long. Before I knew it, a bunch of heavily armored royal guards were running towards me.
Yeah, he looks like one of the escapees. We need to get him back into containment before Agent Horace finds out he's here.
Escapees? But I didn't escape. I'm Zozo, and I just spawned here.
Oh, we've heard that one before, bub. Come with us, you sparkly symbiote. We'll be forced to use extreme, force.
I really didn't want to get into a fight straight away, especially over a misunderstanding, so I ran as fast as my little Diamond Venom legs would carry me. Uh-oh, it looks like I might not be fast enough. As I was running, I suddenly noticed that more royal guards had me backed up into a corner. Symbiotes are powerful, but as just a baby and without any weapons, there was no way I could take all these guys on. Can't we just talk this out? I promise I won't misbehave. I think this is a huge misunderstanding.
Don't worry, kid. We'll talk it out when we have you back in containment. Come along now. We don't want to hurt you if we don't have to.
And with that, the gang of royal guards led me off to who knows where. This isn't turning out to be a very successful first day. On day 2, the royal guards escorted me into what looked like a kind of small secret research lab in the middle of the desert.
Welcome to Area 52, son. This is where we keep all the secret things for research and testing, and that includes you.
But I don't even know what you guys think I did.
That's for us to know, and you to probably never find out. Now get in this cell over here. We'll check your paperwork and deal with you later.
They made me go into a cell where a huge, kind of intimidating redstone golem was waiting for me.
Oh, shiny. What are you in for, Mac?
Honestly, I don't even know. I feel like the right to a fair trial should have been given to us. They can't just lock us away like this.
Here to that, buddy. I'm Robbie. Robbie the Redstone Golem. You?
I'm Zozo, and don't worry, Robbie. I'm gonna bust both of us out of here.
But how?
You see, one of the powers of the symbiote is super strength. Watch! With my powerful diamond fists, I busted down the wall of the cell leading to the outside. And before any of the royal guards could even notice, Robbie and I escaped out into the desert.
That was amazing, Zozo. We should probably go our separate ways now, so that those goons can't catch us, but I hope we run into each other again.
Same here, Robbie. Happy travels! And with that, we both ran off in different directions. On day 3, I ran further into the desert, trying to put as much distance between myself and Area 52 as possible. I never want to have to go back there, if I can avoid it. But as I was running away, my diamond venom stomach started to rumble. Oh no, this isn't good. Symbiotes are meat eaters, so I need to get my hands on some good protein as soon as possible. Lucky for me, there were some desert chickens waiting around, and they just looked too delicious for me to resist. I attacked them until I was left with some yummy raw chicken on my hands, which I ate with gusto. That's finger-licking good. My hunger sated, I kept on walking until I ran into another lone figure in the desert. It was a warden.
Hello there, Zozo.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know a lot of things. Perks of the job. I'm Agent Warden. Nice to meet you.
Agent? Oh no, you're with Area 52. You're gonna try to capture me.
I used to be with them, but now I've gone rogue. Believe me, Zozo, we're on the same team. Come with me. I'll tell you everything you want to know.
That was an offer too good to refuse, so I followed Agent Warden through the desert. From day 4 to day 5, we arrived in an isolated base in the middle of the Black Forest, so deep and dark that nobody would ever find it unless they knew what they were looking for.
Welcome to my secret base, Zozo. And I do mean secret. If you tell anyone about this, I'll be forced to destroy you.
Noted. Jeez, this guy is intense.
I heard that.
No, you didn't. When we were inside, Agent Warden started telling me the whole horrible truth about what people were up to at Area 52.
You were lucky to escape with your life, Zozo. They're monstrous people. They capture and experiment on everyone who's different, trying to take their special powers and use them for their own gain. I used to be part of their whole organization until I decided enough was enough. I needed to take them down, and over the next 100 days, you can help me take them down.
After what they did to me and Robbie, I'm happy to lend a hand in taking these bad guys down.
That's the spirit. But we can't be seen together, Zozo. If we are, there's too much of a risk we'll both get taken out. Take this stone sword, axe, and stone pickaxe. Go make your own secret base. We'll talk again soon.
My instructions were clear. I took the sword, axe, and pickaxe and left, going deep into the Black Forest. I cut down some trees to make a clearing and mined some stone. Then I started building myself a basic base to spend the night, adding a nice furnished room and a bed to make myself feel safe from the mobs at night. I stood back to appreciate my small and proud base, and I was really pleased with my work. But then, I heard some royal guards coming towards the forest.
There's that diamond venom! Get him!
Stay away from my base, guys, or you're gonna find out that I'm really a lethal protector. They didn't listen. Instead, they charged in, and I used my super strength to beat the living stuffing out of them. That's what you get for messing with the diamond symbiote. And giving those royal guards a beatdown also gave me enough XP to level up, becoming bigger, stronger, and amazingly, having 50 hearts. And it looks like I can use my super strong symbiote arms to climb walls. I climbed the walls of my little base and sat on the roof, admiring the beautiful scenery of the Black Forest. From day 6 to day 8, I continued working on my base, adding some couches and bookshelves to my living area. When I took a break, none other than Robbie the Redstone Golem came walking through the forest, right next to my base. I was happy to see him again. Robbie, I'm so happy to see you again. How are things going with you?
Sadly, not good, man. I've been looking for a place to crash, but 2 of the villages I've tried to visit were already destroyed by the time I turned up.
Destroyed? That's terrible.
You said it, man. Something awful is going on out here. You need to stay safe. I'm gonna keep moving, and you should keep your eyes peeled.
Stay safe out there, Robbie. Robbie left, and I was feeling more confused and afraid than ever. I needed to go and speak to Agent Warden as soon as possible. I ran to a secret base and told him everything that Robbie had told me.
Then it seems the situation is already graver than I first thought. I have a few classified missions I need to perform myself, but in the meantime, head to the Sierra Valley and scope it out for any unusual activity. Together, we can stop the worst of this insidious plan before it even starts.
Yes, sir. I'll do whatever I need to.
That's a great attitude, Zozo. Do everything I say, and you'll go far.
From day 9 to day 10, I did exactly what Agent Warden said and made my way out to the Sierra Valley to investigate. I just needed to find out if anything unusual was happening out here. Doesn't look like anything weird is happening out here. Oh, other than that. As it turned out, I hadn't noticed the huge armored piglin running towards me. Yeah, that's certainly pretty unusual. I began to battle the zombified armored piglin, but he was way tougher than the royal guards. Even with all my hearts and my diamond hard skin, he still had me on the ropes. Until suddenly, an armored pillager ran in and shot the zombified armored piglin with a bow and arrow. The second the arrow hit the creature, it seemingly got a lot weaker, and one more strike from my stone sword was enough to defeat it. That was awesome! You really saved my life there. Thank you, armored pillager.
Don't mention it. I've never seen anyone like you. You really can fight. I've got a gang of sellswords who operate out here in the valley. We could use someone like you if you wanted to sign up. It'd be good work and good pay.
It definitely sounds tempting, but I can't right now. I'm sorry. I'm on an incredibly important mission from Agent Warden.
Who?
It doesn't surprise me that you haven't heard of him. He's incredibly secretive. But I'll let him know we had this talk. Thank you again for the help. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to Agent Warden's secret base and told him all about what happened in the Sierra Valley with the piglin and the armored pillager who saved my life. But by the end of the story, Agent Warden didn't seem happy with me.
You even told him my name? You can't do that, Zozo. I thought I told you my mission was top secret. Can you not even follow the most basic of instructions?
I'm so sorry, Agent Warden. I didn't know it would upset you so much. I promise I won't tell anyone else your name. I'll keep your missions top secret.
Good. That's more like it. For your next mission, I need you to go to the Sierra Valley again, the north specifically, and find your way to a research base hidden out there. They're puppets of Area 52, carrying out their evil bidding. If you value your freedom, you'll gather all the information about them you can.
Yes, Agent Warden. I won't let you down this time. But that mission sounded dangerous, so before I could take it on, I needed to upgrade my gear. That's why I ventured down into an abandoned mine in the Black Forest to collect some iron. I mined until I had enough iron ore, which I then smelted into ingots in an abandoned furnace and crafted into a full set of iron armor, an iron sword, iron axe, and iron pickaxe. But it wasn't all easy. I was detected and attacked by a bunch of spiders while I was down there. This is what I get for shining bright like a diamond. It didn't take me long to defeat the spiders with my iron sword. Then it was time to prove myself to Agent Warden once again. From day 13 to day 15, I ventured out through the Sierra Valley until I found what looked like a small research base. It was crawling with scientists. Guess it's time to play detective and ask some tough questions. I snuck in and found one of the researchers alone. I cornered him and used my intimidating diamond venom look to get his undivided attention. Listen here, you're gonna tell me everything you know about your bosses at Area 52, or else!
What? Area 52 aren't our bosses.
Liar! I have it on good authority that you do all their evil bidding, so you better start telling the truth.
I am telling the truth. The only time we ever collaborated was on the Warden project.
Wait, the what project?
I've told you too much already. Just please leave me alone.
Yes, I will. I'm so sorry for bothering you. I left the research base and started heading across the Sierra Valley. Something about all of this was terribly wrong, and I needed to get some answers from Agent Warden immediately. From day 16 to day 19, I made my way through the Black Forest back to Agent Warden's secret base as quickly as possible. But on the way, I ran into Robbie the Redstone Golem again. Robbie, what's wrong this time?
Zozo, I found out some terrifying news, and I needed to tell you as soon as possible. The one who's been destroying whole villages is some kind of genetically enhanced warden, and he lives in this forest.
Genetically enhanced warden? Oh no, no! I've had this all wrong! I need to get back to that research base and warn them! But by the time I'd crossed the Sierra Valley and reached the research base, it was already too late. The The research base was in ruins, and who else was standing in the rubble but Agent Warden? I decided to rush in and confront him. Agent Warden, how could you? Why are you doing this? These people aren't under the orders of Area 52 at all.
Oh, Zozo, as naive and small-minded as ever. You really are a diamond venom in the rough, aren't you?
I don't know the full extent of your evil plan, but one thing I do know is that I'm not going to be a part of it, whatever awful thing you want to do.
Be careful, Zozo. If you're not with me, you're against me.
Then I guess I'm against you. You're about to find out just how strong a diamond venom really is.
But Zozo, all symbiotes like you have two weaknesses: fire and sound!
Agent Warden unleashed a hugely powerful sonic boom out of his chest. It was a direct hit on me, and as soon as it connected, I fell unconscious. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up in the ruins of the Sierra Valley research base. Agent Warden was gone, and it looked like there was only one surviving scientist, the same one I'd interrogated earlier.
You there, Zozo, was it? I'm Dr. Hardy. I saw that you tried to defend us against that terrible monster, and even though the destruction he caused was awful, it means a lot to know you're on our side.
I'm still so sorry I couldn't help more, Dr. Hardy. I have no idea why Agent Warden just turned like that, but I have a feeling that if we work together, we can find out why. Want to come stay at my base and team up?
That sounds like an excellent idea, Zozo. I want to get back against this monster any way I can.
Dr. Hardy and I returned to my base, and I began working on a new room for him. It had an area for him to sleep, and an area for him to conduct any scientific experiments he needed to.
Thank you, Zozo. This will do nicely.
From day 23 to day 26, I made a trek back to the Red Desert, where I originally spawned, to see if I missed anything. If I was wrong about Agent Warden, I've got to make sure I pay more attention to things from now on. I carefully looked around and noticed there was an iceologer in trouble.
Someone, please! I need a protector!
An armored skeleton was running them down, and it seemed like it would catch them soon. I had to do something. Don't worry, Diamond Venom is here. I jumped into the path of the armored skeleton and hit him with my iron sword. It got his attention, but he wasn't looking that damaged from the attack. I had succeeded at making the armored skeleton attack me instead of the iceologer, but now it seemed I would have to deal with a strong and fast mob all on my own. It wasn't an easy fight, but in the end, I took home the W. The iceologer was delighted.
That was amazing! We make a good team!
You said it, iceologer. It's almost like a symbiotic relationship. Like a symbiote. Defeating the armored skeleton to save that iceologer had reminded me of my true strength and caused my powers to evolve. I now had 75 hearts and could dash to quickly close the gap with enemies. From day 27 to day 31, I was still in the Red Desert when I came across a herd of sheep. They were looking for grass to eat, but couldn't find any. I guess they must have been lost. This way, sheep, there's plenty of grass to graze on in the Black Forest. Back at the base, I made sure to build a pen for the sheep around some of that delicious grass I mentioned. Delicious for sheep, at least. This diamond venom is on an all-meat diet. Later on, I was walking through the base when I ran into the iceologer I had protected in the desert.
Hey, Zozo! Thanks again for your help the other day.
Hey, iceologer, when did you get here?
Oh, I've been here for a while. I noticed you have some scientists doing research here, so I thought I could help out in a big way. Follow me.
I followed the iceologer to another part of the base and saw what he was talking about. He had upgraded the base with a research watchtower. The scientists are gonna love this. Meanwhile, somewhere in a secret place, Agent Warden was plotting the next phase of the Warden Project. And whatever that entailed was probably super evil.
Everything is going according to my super secret plan. That's because you're so good at being evil, Warden. I agree, Pigless. Soon it will be time for you to play your role in how things proceed. It is an honor to serve you, sir. Pigless will make sure your every order is carried out without fail.
From day 32 to day 35, I went to Area 52 to see if I could get any more answers out of the Royal Guards. Even if they didn't know anything else about what Agent Warden was up to, I could still reason with them and form an alliance.
Ah, it's Diamond Venom! There's no reasoning with them! Battle formation!
The Royal Guards fought against me, but I defended myself by using my armor to reduce the damage from their attacks. Hold it, guys. I really think we can work this out.
He's trying to reason with us. I guess we were wrong about him. That's the first time we've been wrong about anything.
royal guards took me to the office of their top agent, Agent Horace.
So, you must be that Diamond Venom that escaped from my holding cell a while back. It's a shame I never got to meet you in person.
Is that because you were going to do some uncalled for experiments on me?
What? No! What do you think we do around here? We thought that a diamond symbiote like you had the potential to be turned towards the side of good. That's why we brought you here.
I'm glad you guys weren't up to anything sinister. You definitely could have been nicer about it, though.
The kinds of superpowered monsters we deal with, it's hard not to go overboard, especially after the Warden Project made us responsible for another monster.
You mean Agent Warden? What is he up to?
I can tell you it's something most secretive and most definitely sinister. We've been keeping tabs on him, but he's operating in the shadows now.
I want to help you take him down. He betrayed me, and I don't like that kind of thing.
Good. We could use a Venom like you on our side. Until Agent Warden is defeated, we'll make you a temporary secret agent.
Agent Diamond Venom. I like the sound of that. From day 36 to day 39, I went mining for iron to fix up my armor. If I'm going to be playing the part of a secret agent, I should look like I've got the best gear. I dug down deep into the mining area and managed to strike iron. There was plenty of iron to go around, enough to fix my entire set of iron armor. There were some diamonds down there as well. I must have had a knack for finding them because I was a Diamond Venom myself. Diamonds are a diamond's best friend. Wait, what did I say? The diamonds weren't even the rarest treasure that I found in the mine. The honor went to the powerful battle axe that I found, lodged in a wall. I went above ground with the spoils of my mining excursion and fixed up my armor. I finished just in time for the iceologer to come in and talk to me.
Hey, Zozo!
Actually, it's Agent Zozo.
Right. Anyway, I was thinking we should expand our team. There's someone I want you to go talk to. They should be waiting for you at the Shattered Glacier.
From day 40 to day 43, I went to the Shattered Glacier where the iceologer said I could meet our new contact. I was surprised and relieved to see that it was my old friend Robbie the Redstone Golem.
I heard Area 52 made you a temporary agent. They are no friends of mine, but it's good to see that you're moving up in the world.
Whatever it takes to stop that rampaging Agent Warden. What did you call me here to talk about?
I wanted to ask if I could join your supergroup. Even if we're only working together in secret, this world needs protectors.
I was about to ask him what he had in mind when a giant pigman ran towards us and stopped right next to us. It was Pigless, the new minion that was sent by Agent Warden.
You were too easy to follow, Diamond Venom. Time to carry out Agent Warden's orders.
And what would those be?
There's no point in asking me that question. I'm not telling you.
Pigless smashed a big hole in the ground to show off how strong he was. He's tough, Robbie. Do you think we could take him if we teamed up?
Maybe, but for now, we should get somewhere safe to have the rest of our conversation.
I nodded, and the two of us ran away as Pigless continued to smash his way across the Shattered Glacier. From day 44 to day 49, I was lying low in my base when I was visited by Agent Horace. He really must have been the top agent because I didn't even see him come in.
Agent Zozo, I've got some key intel and a new assignment for you.
Took you long enough. This Diamond Venom is on the job, whatever it is.
There is an object known as the Destroyer, which was once in our possession at Area 52. We believe that in the right hands, it has the power to take down any bad guy.
Even Agent Warden?
Now, Diamond Venom, just focus on finding the Destroyer and getting it to us. We'll handle the rest.
Where can I find the Destroyer?
It was last sighted in the Sierra Valley biome. You should head back there and search for it.
Won't let you down, Agent Horace. From day 50 to day 53, on Horace's orders, I went to the Sierra Valley biome to learn more about the Destroyer. It looked like I wasn't the only agent on the case. A royal guard was already here, probably sent by Horace too. Hey there, Agent. I'm Agent Zozo. I'm looking for the Destroyer too.
Shh, keep your voice down. We don't know who's listening. I'll tell you what I know about the Destroyer, but you need a promise to keep it a secret.
I promise.
The truth about the Destroyer is that we made it in Area 52 using some rare materials from another dimension. Those materials are what gave the item its unmatched destructive power.
What were the materials? And what dimension did they come from?
That's classified. The point is, we were so impressed by these materials that we started to use them on a different project, the Warden Project.
Let me guess, that was how Agent Warden got his superpowers. It was what made him a supervillain. The materials gave him destructive sonic abilities that were out of control. That's why we need a weapon like the Destroyer to take him out.
I understand now. You keep looking around here. I'm gonna go back to the base for now.
I left the Royal Guard to keep searching. That's when I saw a battle between an Iron Chicken and a skeleton. The Iron Chicken looked like she would make a good addition to the super group I was forming with the others. I went to help her in the fight, but the Iron Chicken had already won by the time I even got a hit in. Whoa, you're strong. Do you want to join my superhero team?
Sorry, Diamond Venom, but Iron Chicken works alone.
She ran off right after saying that. I guess not everyone wants to team up with me. From day 54 to day 57, I was traveling through the Red Desert when I ran into none other than Pigless, Agent Warden's big brute of a henchman. What do you want, Pigless?
I only want what Agent Warden orders me to want. That's how loyal of a henchman I am.
Okay, and what does Agent Warden want?
He ordered me to take out the trash, and the trash is you.
Pigless hit me hard, sending me flying across the desert. His super strength was so much stronger than mine, and I was practically super duper strength. I fought back, but I was losing a lot of hearts to the big pig's punches.
You really are trash. Just call me the trash compactor.
Actually, I prefer to be recycled, and by that I mean live to fight another day. I knew I couldn't win, so I ran away from Pigless. He might have been strong, but sure was slow. While his henchman was keeping me busy, Agent Warden was in his secret base, developing a personal teleporter that would take him between dimensions at will.
Once I harness the true destructive contained in the other dimensions, I will be unstoppable.
From day 58 to day 62, I met with the scientist who's been living in my base to see what he's been up to. How's the research been going, Dr. Hardy?
I've got amazing things to tell you about Zozo. The statue I've been working on is really coming along. It'll be one of the great achievements when we're done building it.
Awesome work!
There is one slight issue though. I've run out of building materials. Do you think you could fetch us more?
Of course, I was just heading down to the mine anyway. I returned to where I had been mining before and dug further into the area with the diamonds. I was determined to get even more of them so I could get a complete set of diamond gear to match my diamond body. I also made sure to get more stone and iron while I was there so the scientists could continue work on the statue. Once I had enough of everything, I left the mine and gave the scientists what they had been looking for. Then I went to the crafting table and made myself a diamond sword, diamond boots, and a diamond helmet. Diamond Venom is more diamond than ever! From day 63 to day 66, I received another visit from Agent Horus. He must really want me to find that destroyer. I looked around like you told me to, but I haven't found it anywhere.
That's all right, Agent Zozo. The Royal Guards and I have done that part of the job ourselves. We have reason to believe that the destroyer somehow crossed dimensions back to where it originally came from.
The destroyer is in another dimension?
Yes, in another world known as the End.
How can I get there from here?
Take a look at this portal we installed in your base.
Agent Horus led me to an incomplete end portal, which at the moment wasn't working. I wonder where they even got this portal, but I didn't want to question Agent Horus. What do I have to do in order to reactivate the end portal?
No idea. We've never gotten any farther than this, but if it does activate, you should let us know post-haste.
From day 67 to day 70, I kept an eye on the end portal that Area 52 had installed in my base. There were no signs of activity, and I wondered if I would ever get the chance to get the destroyer. I was relieved of this duty when Robbie, the redstone golem, showed up again. Hey Robbie, what are you up to?
We've got ourselves a new objective, Zozo. There's some trouble down at the Shattered Glacier, and we should go help out.
What's the problem?
One dangerous mob called the Skeleton Jackal might be a new supervillain.
Leave it to me, Robbie. I arrived at the Shattered Glacier and saw exactly what Robbie was talking about. The Skeleton Jackal had claimed the Shattered Glacier as his own territory.
Diamond Venom, you're too late. I, the Skeleton Jackal, will soon be the most powerful new villain out there.
Sorry, but I already have an arch nemesis, and he's not you.
I'll make you take me seriously.
The Skeleton Jackal attacked me with his claws, but I fought back with my trusty battle axe. We were evenly matched in damage, but my diamond armor and diamond skin made my defenses that much stronger.
You might be durable, Diamond Venom, but this fight isn't over by a long shot.
Stop this! We don't have to fight! What if instead of a villain, you decided to be an anti-hero? You can still be scary, but you also get to do the right thing.
Anti-hero, huh? I guess I could give it a try.
Wow, it worked! Welcome to the team, Skeleton Jackal. From day 71 to day 74, my base was under attack by Pigless, who was using his brute force to smash giant holes into the surrounding terrain.
Piggy power!
Stop it, Pigless! I used my dash ability and started swinging my battle axe at Pigless, inflicting damage on him.
Ouch! That axe hurts! Can I have it?
Pigless punched me, causing me to drop the battle axe. He picked it up himself and started swinging it at me. I equipped my diamond sword and continued to fight, but Pigless was even more deadly with the battle axe in his hand. Give that back, it's not yours.
It is now. Eat this!
Pigless wound up a big punch and sent me careening straight into a hill and caused me to get heavily dazed. When I got back up, he was already gone. It was no use trying to get my battle axe back now. It looked like my base was totally wrecked too. Pigless! I was really sad, so I went to the river to be alone for a bit. After a while, Isologer came by to cheer me up.
Hey, Zozo, I know you're feeling down about losing your weapon, but I've rebuilt the base and added a perimeter wall to keep out future attacks.
You're the best, Isologer. I'm glad you're part of my supergroup. Meanwhile, back at Agent Warden's base, my arch nemesis had gained the powers of the interdimensional energies he was attempting to harness.
Area 52 thought I was a mistake and tried to destroy me. Their real mistake was not going further with their experiments.
From day 75 to day 78, Agent Horus came to check on the base and give me a brand new weapon to replace my battle axe, the Javelin.
We heard what happened with Pigless. It sounds like you've really gotten on Agent Warden's bad side.
That Pigless is a real menace. He's going down, just like Agent Warden.
You're in luck. We've got the location of Agent Warden's secret base. We figured we'd send you over there to do some real damage.
I'll do more than that. This might just be business for Area 52, but it's always personal for me. I took the Javelin and set off through the Black Forest toward Agent Warden's secret base. If Pigless was there, I'd be sure to get my revenge from last time. From day 79 to day 84, I was sneaking around the outside of Agent Warden's secret base, and sure enough, I found exactly who I was looking for, Pigless.
Agent Zozo! Looks like recycling day came early. I'll break you down like a cardboard box.
You're the one who's gonna be broken, Pigless. I threw my javelin at Pigless, catching him off guard, and then I used the opportunity to hit him a bunch of times with my diamond sword.
Not bad. I didn't expect that new weapon. But did you really forget your old weapon so soon?
No, please, Pigless, anything but battle axe! Pigless swung the battle axe that he stole from me, taking off a ton of hearts. He was wielding the weapon as if it was meant for him. Once again, my diamond sword couldn't stand up to him, especially since my super strength was weaker than his.
I really like being a henchman, you know. When I secretly get rid of someone, Agent Warden rewards me with treasure. I wonder how rich I'll be after I deal with you.
Oh no, am I going to lose? As Pigless prepared to deliver the decisive blow with my own battle axe, I heard a voice from the trees. It was the Skeleton Jackal.
Zozo, don't forget that you're Diamond Venom, a shining inspiration to anti-heroes everywhere.
You're right. Inspired by Skeleton Jackal's words, I grew into a form powerful enough to take on Pigless, even with the battle axe. I had 100 hearts and diamond venom claws that were stronger than any diamond sword. With my new form, he was dropped in no time.
Well, I did the best I could, but sometimes a henchman is just a henchman.
Your boss, Agent Warden, is next, Pigless. And with that, Pigless vanished. From day 85 to day 89, I went back to my base to tell everyone that I had defeated Pigless in battle. I went and visited the scientist first to inquire about the state of the statue.
I've made some amazing strides in the pursuit of the statue, but I'm still missing some materials. Could you grab me some more wood?
Sure, let me grab some from my chest. I took some wood from my chest and brought it back to Dr. Hardy, who then escorted me to the statue. It was a statue of Dr. Hardy halfway through transforming into normal Venom. I guess he must have been a big fan. Afterwards, I returned to the side of the end portal where Agent Horus was waiting for me.
It seems that Agent Warden has already gone to the end to harness the materials there. If the destroyer falls into his hands, he'll be even more unstoppable than a big pigman with a battle axe.
That's pretty specific, but I totally understand what you mean.
These Eyes of Ender that the royal guards have gathered should be able to jumpstart the portal. Get in there and make us proud.
Yes, sir. He activated the portal and I stepped through. Suddenly, I found myself in the Nightshade Forest. This must be the main biome of the dimension known as the End. This is feeling strangely familiar again. Not too far away, I saw the destroyer lying on the ground. I didn't have time to go and grab it. An Enderman appeared out of the trees and started to attack me. Ugh, I guess I've got to deal with the mob first. I used my diamond sword combined with my claw attacks to make the Enderman back off and run away. With the mob gone, I picked up the destroyer and headed back towards the portal. From day 90 to day 94, I heard someone sneaking up behind me. It was Agent Warden.
Welcome home, Diamond in the Rough.
This isn't my home. Home is on the other side of this portal, and I intend on going back. After I defeat you, that is.
You won't defeat me, Agent Zozo. You're just like me. The diamond symbiote that grants you all of your powers is from the End. That's why this place is your home.
I'm from the End?
Yes, and that's why I want you on my side. I need someone to help me reap the rewards that exist in this world. The materials that gave me powers could make an army of Sonic warriors.
I'm not joining you. Area 52 trusted me to take you down, and that's what I'll do.
You're making a mistake. Agent Horus and the others are weak, and that's why they capture and create super beings to fight their battles. I think we should choose our own battles, don't you?
I actually agree. That's why I'm choosing my battle to be me versus you. I threw my javelin, but Agent Warden took it like it was nothing and bombarded me with a sonic blast. Even though I'd gotten stronger, sonic attacks were still my weakness. His powers had increased so much that I was powerless against him. Agent Warden hit me with a few melee attacks before knocking me out and stealing the destroyer.
I'll be having that. See you on the other side, Diamond in the Rough.
He ran off through my end portal. From day 95 to day 97, I was able to muster enough strength to crawl my way to the portal. There's no time to lose. I have to warn Agent Horus. And with that, I crawled into the portal. When I got to the secret research lab of Area 52, I found that all of the royal guards had been wiped out by Agent Warden in a destruction spree. This was definitely the destroyer's handiwork. I kept searching around until I stumbled upon Agent Horus. He was the last one alive and was hanging on by a thread.
You sure kept us waiting, huh?
Agent Horus, I'm sorry. I couldn't stop him. He used my weakness against me.
No, Agent Zozo, I'm sorry. It was our foolishness and greed that led to Agent Warden's rise to power. If only we had been more careful and not tried to turn what we didn't understand into weapons.
You couldn't have known he'd go this evil.
It's alright. Area 52 will be no more after I'm gone. I need you to clean up our last mess, Diamond Venom. Make sure you stop him.
Horus died, trying to harness the forces beyond his control. Now Agent Warden was trying to do the same thing. I'd make sure it didn't end well for him either. On day 98, I found my base had been destroyed in another one of Agent Warden's evil rampages. The scientist, Isologer, and Skeleton Jackal were all destroyed too. Every member of my team, gone. This is unforgivable. I knew Agent Warden was my arch nemesis, but I never thought he'd go this far. I stood there in total shock for a long time until I heard some familiar heavy footsteps. Robbie.
Agent Zozo! No, just Zozo. I'm sorry that I couldn't protect the rest of the team. He was too strong.
Don't beat yourself up about it, Robbie. I feel a bit better knowing that at least my very first friend is still here with me.
You know what? I feel the same way. You're alive, and I'm alive. We've got to do something to make that count.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We're gonna take back the destroyer, and then we're gonna give Agent Warden payback for everything he's done!
Now that's the symbiote I know. Let's rock!
On day 99, Robbie and I closed in on Agent Warden's secret base, which hadn't changed location since the time I fought Pigless there.
I'll lure Agent Warden out with a distraction. Then you surprise attack him and steal the destroyer.
Sounds good. Be careful, Robbie. I went to hide behind a tree as Robbie stepped out and waved his arms.
Hey Warden, look at me! I'm so destroyable! Haha, come destroy me!
Sure enough, Agent Warden stepped out of the base with the destroyer in his hands. He started moving towards Robbie. Now is my chance! I used my dash ability to rush at Agent Warden. Just as planned, I was able to grab the destroyer and run away. Robbie turned and ran away too.
Haha, I'm not destroyed! Better luck next time!
When we got back to the base, I immediately took a closer look at the destroyer. It was definitely made with the same materials that made Agent Warden's sonic blast so strong. It was also from the end, like my symbiote. Maybe if I… Well, here goes nothing! I absorbed the material in the destroyer using my symbiote, and I could feel that it was enhancing my diamond skin to a whole new level of durability. It worked! Now my souped up diamond skin will be able to resist his sonic attacks. On day 100, I returned to Agent Warden's secret base for our final showdown. I of course brought Robbie with me. We entered his base and went downstairs. This time, Agent Warden was already waiting for us in his underground lair. This stops here, Agent Warden. You're not destroying anything else in your quest for mad science.
When will you learn, symbiote? My sonic attacks will render you immobile once again!
He fired a sonic blast at me, but I didn't even flinch this time. Because despite its name, the destroyer had made me indestructible.
How did you do that? I knew your weakness!
It's like you always said, I am a diamond in the rough, and now this diamond is gonna rough you up. I called forth the destroyer from within my symbiote and attacked using it. The shockwave smashed the surrounding area and did serious damage to Agent Warden.
He's weak! My turn!
Robbie rushed in and smacked him with his golem arms a couple times. I joined in with a diamond claw attack. Agent Warden tried to fight back, but his powers were useless against me now.
Please, no more!
This is for everyone at Area 52 and everyone at my base too!
No, please! All I wanted was to be able to blow up whatever I wanted! I was just acting mysterious to look cool!
Well, now the truth is out, and the truth is, you got what was coming to you. Then, I swung the destroyer one last time, and he was gone! Leaving me and Robbie to celebrate the fact that the world was safe again. On day 1, I spawned in as the Grim Reaper. Then I noticed I was tiny, and I only had 3 hearts. What is this nonsense? I looked around and saw that I was in front of a castle. Ooh, this looks interesting. I'll take a look inside. I opened the door and called out, "Anybody home?" Maybe one of my friends lived here or something. I started wandering around and found myself in a throne room. What is that? I saw a man with a mutant wither skeleton. He was holding a scythe. Wait, I think that's my scythe. How did you get it? The man screamed in rage and pointed at me.
Destroy him!
A bunch of zombies came out from the back room, and I gasped in shock. Without even thinking, I fired an icy blast that froze some of the zombies solid. Huh, that's interesting. I guess this is because I'm as cold as death. I ran out the door and down the stairs as the zombies followed me. That was not what I was expecting. And why does that guy have an army of zombies? That's not right. I found a small cave and decided to sleep there for the night. Tomorrow, I'll find out what's going on. On day 2, I left the cave to go exploring. I walked for half a day until I found my way to the Autumn Forest. I don't really have a home, so I guess I'm gonna have to make one. I started collecting some wood to make a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. After some additional mining and crafting, I had some simple stone tools and weapons. Well, it's better than nothing. I had been working so hard all day, so when I stopped, I realized I was hungry. What does a Grim Reaper eat? I found some cows and pigs and cooked up some food for myself. It didn't do anything to help. In fact, it made me feel sick. Gross, I need to find something else. I noticed that it had gotten dark. Suddenly, a group of zombies popped out and started attacking me. With my new stone sword, I was able to take them out easily. They had dropped some meat, and I stared at it hungrily. Maybe this will help me? I ate the meat, and sure enough, my hearts were restored. I feel much better now. I made it back to my base and worked on a few more things before heading to bed. On day 3, I went back out to find more materials for the base. It was safe enough, but I wanted to make some improvements. It turned out to be a nice day. I hope nothing too crazy happens today. I realized I had spoken too soon because just then I heard an awful crash. I ran to see what the noise was when I saw a Dread Queen fighting a bunch of zombies. Hey, leave her be! I rushed forward with my weapons. The zombies started to attack me when I remembered my trick at the castle. I fired out some ice blasts and froze up some of those nasty zombies. The others noticed and started to run away.
Nice job, Death. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Did you shrink?
Who are you?
I'm Famine. Do you know me?
I'm sorry, no.
Oh, this must have been Lord Terror's doing. I knew he was up to no good.
I was so confused at this point. Famine could see that I was overwhelmed.
You are the Grim Reaper, or Death. I'm Famine, and we have two friends, War and Pestilence. We establish order in the world. But Lord Terror, as he calls himself, started messing with stuff. He's been infiltrating the villages and turning people into undead.
That's horrible. Those souls need to be freed and move on.
I thought that's what you were planning, but nobody has seen you for a while. Now I know something bad happened. You're smaller and you don't look like yourself.
This is a lot to take in. How about we get back to my base? It's not a castle, but it's safer than out here.
Sure.
Famine and I made our way back to my base, just in time for the sun to set. On days 4 to 5, I helped Famine make a little home at my base.
I was driven out of my home by the undead. I guess Lord Terror is getting more powerful as the days go on.
The house wasn't too fancy, but Famine seemed to like it, and she thanked me. No problem, anything for a friend. I went out to look for some more supplies when I saw a group of skeletons near a cave entrance. I'm Death, surely they won't want to harm me. As I approached, they seemed friendly, but then they started shooting me with their bows. Hey, we aren't enemies! Honestly, I didn't know anymore. I was just a baby after all. I used my sword to attack, and soon enough, they were all gone. Hey, what's that? I noticed a bow on the ground, and I picked it up. It had an enchantment of flame on it. Nice, this will come in handy. On days 6 to 8, well out in the forest near my base, I gathered some meat from some more cows and pigs. Famine got hungry a lot after all. I'm gonna keep working and getting stronger. Lord Terror doesn't stand a chance against me.
Is that so?
I looked, and to my surprise, it was Lord Terror. He had a few zombies around him. Let those innocent souls go. You don't have a right to keep them here. Lord Terror laughed and swung the scythe around.
I'm the Lord of Death now, Little Reaper. I won your scythe fair and square.
What are you talking about? He seemed tired of talking, so he swung at me instead. Whoa! He was fast. I tried to dodge him, but he kept getting hits in.
I beat you once. I will beat you again.
I gotta get out of here. I ran as fast as my little legs could carry me. As I did, I heard Lord Terror laughing from behind me.
That's right, Little Reaper. Run away. I will see you soon enough.
On days 9 to 10, I made it back to the base. Famine could tell I was hurt, and she tried her hardest to help me.
It's okay, Death. You will grow stronger and eventually beat Lord Terror. He's just a silly little monster trying to steal other people's things.
I felt a little bit better after our talk, but I still felt exhausted.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have a surprise for you.
She brought me outside to show me a statue she was beginning to make.
Ta-da!
It's great, Famine! Is it a tent?
No, silly. Do you really not know what it is?
I looked again. Can you tell what it is?
I also made some other upgrades while you were gone.
She showed me the lanterns and a small archery range. Wow, you've really outdone yourself.
It's the least I can do for a friend.
Famine was awesome. I was glad I was able to find her. I hoped our other friends were doing okay. I would go looking for them soon. On days 11 to 12, I had a vivid dream. I was a fully grown Grim Reaper with my scythe at my side. I was living in the castle that I had escaped from on day 1. Everything is as it should be.
Not quite.
I looked and saw Lord Terror, except he looked like a normal villager.
I believe we have a game that needs playing, Death.
With his dark powers, Lord Terror began to steal away my energy and my ability. He shapeshifted into his mutant wither skeleton self as I became a sad little baby reaper. Ah! I woke up in horror at the nightmare I had just had. I rushed to Famine to tell her about it. She shook her head.
So that's what happened. I knew you made a deal with a dying human, but I didn't know you lost all your power in the process.
can't be it. Why am I back, but as a baby? Why can he control the dead? Famine shook her head.
Maybe our friends know. I think it's about time we go find them.
On days 13 to 15, I went out to explore. I was hoping to find war or pestilence, but they didn't seem to be anywhere. I hope they weren't captured or anything. I realized I was back in the area where I had seen famine for the first time. There were a bunch of zombies milling around still. I guess they just expected her to come back. Get lost! I drew my bow and defeated them one by one. I didn't realize it until now, but I was releasing their souls from their bodies. I was freeing them. Nice! I managed to release all their souls when I felt a power coursing through me. I grew in size and became an older Grim Reaper. I'm bigger and I have 30 hearts. I realized I could also now turn invisible for short periods. That'll come in handy. I can't wait to try this out later. On days 16 to 19, I found a cave and decided to mine for some more materials. This looks promising. Hopefully I can find some iron in here. As I was venturing deeper into the cave, I saw a group of skeletons standing right on top of an iron deposit. It looks like I'm gonna have to take care of that. I drew my bow. They noticed me immediately and began shooting. Come on, guys, I just need some iron. After just a few more shots, they were all gone, their bows and arrows scattered around me. I mined the iron without any more trouble and got to work. I smelted the iron into ingots with a furnace, then was able to make a new sword, pickaxe, and some other tools. Yes, things are looking up. On days 20 to 22, I started to head back to my base when I noticed I was being followed. I went invisible briefly and waited for them to approach. Then, as the figure approached, I turned visible again and jumped out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm a friend.
He was a crimson wizard, and the red of his outfit made me think of anger, which then made me think, are you War?
In the flesh. Yeah, I thought you looked kind of different. You're, not as tall as you used to be.
I told him what happened, and he whistled.
That sounds awful. Hopefully you can get your scythe and your castle back. Those are pretty sick.
Thanks?
No problem.
I invited him back to my base, and he happily agreed.
And I thought my house was a fortress, you know, being war and all. But those pesky undead got inside and started breaking everything. So I left. Good thing I ran into you.
We were nearly to the base when we saw Famine running toward us.
Oh, hey, Famine!
She didn't even acknowledge War.
Death! Lord Terror is outside. He is threatening to take down the base. Wait, War?
Sheesh, it's like I'm invisible.
Stay here. I'll go see what he wants. If I need help, I'll call for you. War and Famine got to catching up while I approached the entrance. Sure enough, Lord Terror was there with my scythe. I believe that scythe belongs to me.
See now, little Reaper. I won this fair and square. You agreed to the terms.
I don't even remember what happened. And you're just a human. You can't beat death. That's my calling.
You're wrong. The witch gave me the ability to win this power.
Witch? Lord Terror screamed and charged at me. I dodged him and used my Ice Blast ability to try to stop him. It didn't work for some reason. What in the world? He laughed and lunged at me again. I slashed him with my new iron sword. I actually managed to hit him, and he looked at me in shock. I was about to hit him again when he slammed the scythe into the ground, pushing me back.
I'll be back to finish you off.
And with that, Lord Terror ran away.
What a coward.
I'll say.
I looked and saw War and Famine looking out from behind the trees. I did manage to wound him though, so that means I'm getting stronger.
Yeah, but you have a lot of work to do.
On days 23 to 26, I chatted with War about Lord Terror.
You definitely need some upgrades if you're gonna fight Lord Terror and beat him. I can think of a few things that might be useful to you.
Like what?
Well, you definitely need to upgrade your sword. Iron is alright, but you need some diamonds and an enchanting table to improve your attack.
Okay, where should I go? War told me all the places where I would find the supplies. It wasn't a short list. This might take a while.
You want to defeat Lord Terror and get your scythe back, right?
Of course I do.
Then get to it.
I started gathering materials for the enchanting table and managed to make one all by myself.
Good job, Death.
Thanks. If you think I'm doing a good job, be sure to join me on all my other adventures. Just search ZOZO. On days 27 to 31, I went to check on Famine. I hadn't seen her while I was gathering supplies, and I wanted to make sure she was okay. Hey, Famine, how are you liking your house?
It's great! Look what I've been working on!
She led me to the statue, which I could definitely tell was an hourglass. You've made some great progress.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite there yet. I wanted to add something special on top. It's a surprise. Could you get some white and black wool for me?
Sure. I made my way outside to find some sheep to bring back to the base. I found an abandoned village and spotted some sheep in pens. Perfect! As I went to collect them, I heard something approaching. A horde of zombies were coming toward me. They must have been the villagers that used to live here. You guys need a rest, and I'm so sorry Lord Terror is doing this to you. I used my weapons to release the souls from the undead. I was much more powerful and helped them all in just a few moments. Hopefully, you can all be at peace now. I gathered the sheep and managed to bring them all back to the base. It wasn't easy, but I knew that Famine would appreciate it. On days 32 to 35, I went to gather some more food for all of us. Pork seemed like a pretty safe bet. I know the pigs will be easy to find, but I need to wait until dark for the zombies. I decided to set up a little trap for them, and sure enough, they fell right into it.
Impressive, Death.
Who is that?
You don't recognize my voice? Shame on you, old friend.
Then I saw someone step out from behind the mushrooms. Of course I didn't notice her. She was a mushroom lord. She blended in. Pestilence.
Did you shrink?
Yeah, I shrunk. I told Pestilence what had happened, and she hissed in disapproval.
Now, why would you do that, Death? You are too clever to be outsmarted and depowered by some lowly wither skeleton.
That's the thing. I think Lord Terror cheated me. He mentioned something about a witch. I think that he somehow won because of her.
Well, the only witch I know of is Famine.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. I've heard of an apothecary that lives here in the swamp. Maybe that's who he went to.
This is great information. Pestilence agreed to take the food back to the base while I looked for the witch. Hopefully, she could give me more information about Lord Terror. On days 36 to 39, I journeyed further into the fungal patch in search of the witch. I thought for sure that I would find her, but I didn't see a house anywhere. Where in the world is she? I looked around some more when I saw a group of rabbits. They were acting kind of strange, a little too organized. Maybe they're her henchmen or something. I should follow them. Actually, they're probably just stocking up on food. How silly of me to think that they were working for the witch. Then I noticed that the rabbits all gathered together again. They seemed to be examining each other's food. Okay, I should maybe look somewhere else. Then the rabbits all bounded toward a large mushroom and disappeared. Whoa, where did they go? I quickly followed after them, running straight toward the mushroom. On days 40 to 43, I ran through the fungal patch, chasing the rabbits. What in the world?
Intruder!
A large group of rabbits came bounding toward me.
What are you doing in Our Lady's realm? Did you have an inquiry?
Is this where the witch lives? The rabbits gasped.
You dare call her such a rude name! She is an apothecary of great renown!
Sorry, I just need answers. I don't mean her any harm.
You look like you do.
Then the rabbits started jumping at me. Hey! I didn't want to hurt them, so I just tried to swat them away as nicely as I could.
Death? What are you doing here?
I looked up to see a friendly witch.
Friends, no need to harass Death. I'm sure he has a reason for being here.
The rabbits stopped attacking me and quickly surrounded the woman. Who are you?
I'm Amelia. I wasn't expecting you for quite some time.
I'm not here to collect your soul. I just need to know why you helped Lord Terror.
Lord Terror?
He stole my power and made me regenerate. He took my scythe and is using it to keep souls captive in their undead bodies. Amelia gasped and started to shake her head.
That was Logan Turner. I gave him a potion of luck. He said he needed it in order to fulfill his last dream before he passed. I had no idea he would use it for such an awful thing.
She seemed genuinely upset.
I can't undo what's been done, but maybe this can help you.
She went inside her house and came out with a potion. What is this?
A potion of strength. You will need that in order to get your scythe back.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you again, but hopefully not for a long time.
She waved goodbye as I left her realm, returning to the swamp. On days 44 to 49, I returned to my base. Pestilence, Famine, and War were having a good time together. I noticed they had improved their homes as well as the wall of the base. You've been busy.
So have you, my friend. Did you find the witch?
Apothecary, and yes, she was very nice. I told them the whole story and showed them the potion.
That'll be useful later. I'm glad you were able to find her. Probably gave her quite a scare though.
Just a little bit. We all laughed and chatted for a little bit before Famine jumped up.
Oh, come look at the statue.
I went to look and sure enough, Famine had outdone herself. On top of the hourglass was a skull that looked just like my face. Whoa, it's amazing.
You've been a great friend to us, Death. It's the least we can do.
We admired the statue together for a little while longer and then went to bed. On days 50 to 53, I woke up to a loud crash. I hurried outside to see what it was, and there were zombies everywhere. I could see Lord Terror standing on the edge of the wall. Come and fight me yourself, Logan.
Don't call me that.
He snarled at me and then swung the scythe. It nearly knocked me over, but it also knocked out some of the undead. Time to be freed, my friends. I used my iron sword on the group of undead, freeing them from their cursed bodies. It took a little while, but I eventually got them all. You can all be at peace now. Just then, I felt a pain in my back. I grew taller and gained more hearts. I looked at my back to see what the pain was and realized that I had grown dark feathery wings. Whoa, this is amazing. I flew up for a minute to survey the damage. This is gonna take some time to fix.
Death!
I looked and saw Famine and Pestilence running toward me. I lowered myself to the ground. What's wrong?
Lord Terror took war. The undead were just a distraction.
No! I slumped to the ground. I thought I could protect everyone, but Lord Terror was too clever. He needed to pay. On days 54 to 57, we all worked hard to fix the base. We gathered supplies, made the walls taller, and added extra security measures, including a small moat. After working all day, we sat down to chat about our next move.
There's no doubt that Lord Terror took war to the castle.
Why do you say that?
Oh yeah, you don't remember. There's a massive dungeon in the basement. It has cages, traps, and all sorts of things. We actually used it to meet there sometimes for brunch.
Sounds lovely.
It was. We should do it again soon.
Famine cleared her throat.
Sorry, but he'll be there for sure. There is a back entrance where we would come in. Quicker that way.
Pestilence gave me directions, and I wrote them down. I needed to find our friend before Lord Terror did something awful. But first, I needed to prepare. On days 58 to 62, I went mining for more diamonds. I needed to make some better armor and weapons for myself, since I had no idea what I might face at the castle. I wasn't having any luck, and was about to go search another cave, when I saw a glimmer just up ahead. Diamonds! I walked forward, then felt something fall on me from above. It was a huge, hairy spider, and he had brought some friends. I'm a friend, no need to hurt me. The spiders kept attacking, and I had no choice but to defend myself. Soon enough, they were all gone. Now, on to the diamonds. The deposit was actually really large, and I managed to make armor, plus a new sword and a pickaxe. Sweet! I felt just a little bit more ready to go save war. On days 63 to 66, I noticed that part of the statue had been damaged during the fight. I didn't want to finish it without war, so I just admired it, with all its burns and marks. I'll save you, War, I promise.
Hello, Mr. Death, sir!
I looked and saw some of Amelia's rabbit friends gathering around me. You aren't going to jump on me again, are you?
No, sir, we need your help. Amelia has been captured by that Lord Terror man. We don't have the strength to get her back. Could you get her back?
The rabbits looked very concerned. Of course, he has my friend too. He's probably keeping them in the same place.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Death, sir.
I'll be back soon. In the meantime, you can wait here with my friends. They can help you. They agreed to stay while I rescued Amelia. This was going to be a little bit more difficult, but I was determined. And hey, if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to subscribe. We love having you here with us. On days 67 to 70, I followed the directions to the back door entrance of the dungeon. It was hiding behind some trees and bushes. Good job me for thinking ahead. I entered quietly and made my way down, down, down. I didn't hear much for a while, so I thought I was in the clear. What was that? I turned a corner and saw a swarm of zombies blocking the hallway. They saw me and started ambling toward me. Get back! I used my wings to fly over them. I fired my ice blast at them from the air, freezing them solid. Peace, friends. I lowered myself in front of a door and opened it carefully.
Death!
It's about time you showed up.
War and Amelia were stuck in cages, and I quickly broke the bars to free them.
How did you know I was here?
Your loyal little friends told me.
They really are the best, aren't they?
Sure are. Let's get out of here. On days 71 to 74, we made our way back up toward the back door. Then I noticed a lever I hadn't seen before. It was hiding behind a pillar. I wonder what this opens.
Is that a wise idea?
It was my house. I'm sure it'll be fine. I released the lever and a trapdoor opened. I went inside and saw a chest in a small room. There's a chest!
Well, what are you waiting for? Open it!
I opened it, and inside were netherite ingots, gold, diamonds, and some other ingredients for enchanting. Wow! I climbed back up and showed War.
Hey, you can finally make that sword we've been talking about.
Right! We continued out, following the stream of daylight. On days 75 to 78, we finally made it out.
Thank goodness. I was beginning to think that Lord Terror would hold us there forever.
Not so fast.
Lord Terror came around the corner, scythe in hand.
You dare take my witch and my strongest soldier?
I am not a witch.
Then I would never fight for you.
We brandished our weapons as Lord Terror snarled.
Why won't you just die?
He swung the scythe, but I managed to dodge. I then swung my sword and hit Lord Terror. He stepped back, then swung again. He was fast, but I was an equal opponent now. I could sense his fear.
No, 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 no!
He slammed the hilt of the scythe into the ground and blasted us back. Somehow, through some dark magic, he stole my potion of strength and drank it. On days 79 to 84, we all watched in horror as Lord Terror grew and grew and grew. He was enormous!
Oh no!
We need to go! Lord Terror laughed as I picked up my friends and flew away with them. This has to end soon, or Lord Terror is going to take over everything! On days 85 to 89, we arrived safely back at my base. Famine and pestilence came running out to greet us.
Okay, you better not cry, because I'm not good at dealing with emotion.
Amelia saw her rabbits, and they all jumped for joy. It seemed like things were at least a little normal for now.
Death, come! We need to fix that sword of yours.
War took me to upgrade my sword, and then showed me how to enchant it. Wow, this will really help, War. Thanks for everything you've done.
Hey, I love conflict, but not when it involves my friends. It's the fire aspect enchantment. It'll give your sword a burning edge. This will help you to get your scythe back.
How?
Lord Terror doesn't always have the scythe with him. He likes to hang it up in the main corridor and just admire it. I heard him talking about it while we were captured.
This is great information, War.
If you can fight him off long enough to get the scythe back, that'll be the key to stopping Lord Terror for good.
I agreed and went to show my friends. They oohed and awed before Famine spoke up.
Come and see what Pestilence and I did with the help of the rabbits.
They took me over to the statue, which now had wildflowers growing all around the base. On top was the skull, now with flowers and a touch of flames. Guys, this looks awesome.
You are the Lord of Death, but we know you have a soft side.
I do like flowers. I stared at it in awe. I really did have amazing friends. On days 90 to 94, I traveled back to the castle to retrieve my scythe. If I did it while Lord Terror was unaware, surely I would be able to defeat him. As I approached the castle, I decided to just hide next to one of the pillars inside the throne room and stake it out. I could see Lord Terror back to his normal size. Thank goodness. He was standing around, admiring the scythe. That's mine. I waited for a long time before he fell asleep. I quietly opened the door and snuck past him, grabbing the scythe from the wall. I expected to grow into my full form, but something was wrong.
Intruder!
Lord Terror started to charge at me. I brandished my new sword and smacked him backwards. He brought out another potion and drank it before charging at me. He was incredibly fast, and I could barely see him as he struck me. Oh no! My hearts were fading fast since I couldn't defend myself. I ran away, taking the scythe with me.
It won't work for you, Little Reaper. You are too late.
I didn't know what he meant, but I flew away before he had a chance to attack me again. I need to fix whatever he did to my scythe, otherwise I'm dead meat. On days 95 to 97, I brought my scythe back to the base and had War examine it.
I don't know what to tell you. It looks normal to me.
Maybe Amelia will know. I took it to her and she examined it.
This is my fault. Lord Terror forced me to make a binding spell. He is now bound to the scythe by an enchantment.
How do I break it?
I'll have to make a counterspell, but it will probably take a few days. It might even break it.
Do it. She worked tirelessly trying to fix the scythe, and I did what I could to assist her. I really need this to work. On day 98, I helped Amelia with what I could, but she said I needed to wait for the result. I made my way outside and admired our base and the statue. It had been a difficult journey so far, but I was glad that I had found my friends, made some new ones, and grown stronger. Even if my scythe didn't work, I knew that I would defeat Lord Terror somehow. Hey, we're really glad that you've been here on this journey too. Be sure to subscribe and search for Zozo for more videos. Also, comment below on what my next adventure should be. I can't wait to see what you say. On day 99, I went to look for Amelia. She looked a little discouraged.
I don't know if the spell worked. You'll need to wield it in battle to see.
Well, then I guess it's time to go fight Lord Terror.
I'm sorry about all the trouble I've caused. If it wasn't for me, none of this would have happened.
Maybe, but I'm glad it did. I got to find my old friends again, build an awesome base, and meet you. You're an awesome apothecary, Amelia.
Which? But who's keeping track? Go give him, well, you know.
I smiled as I flew off towards the castle, scythe in hand. As I landed on the steps, the door was open for me. The undead were nowhere to be seen, but Lord Terror stood on the steps, sword in hand, potion in the other.
You can't defeat me.
We'll see about that. I took my scythe and slammed the hilt into the ground, causing everything to shake. I felt a surge of power, and I was connected to my weapon again. I grew taller, my hearts increased, and my wings spanned further. You have cheated death, Logan Turner, and for that, you must pay. Lord Terror drank a potion, and he grew taller. As our weapons met, there was a brilliant burst of light.
It's not fair. I am Lord Terror, the new Grim Reaper. I earned that title.
I lifted myself into the air, letting the scythe swing down with a mighty force. You stole that title. I am the rightful Grim Reaper, and now you must move on. Lord Terror screamed before the scythe made contact, and in a burst of smoke, he was gone. On day 100, I flew back to the base triumphant and glorious in my final form. Everyone cheered as I descended, and they even tried to hug me.
You're our hero. The world is finally right again.
And that was the honest truth. On day 1, I spawned into the frozen lakes as an ice WHITERSTORM. Whoa, even as a baby ice WHITERSTORM, I'm pretty awesome. And thank goodness, because I don't feel cold out here either. But my celebrations were interrupted when I heard the flapping of mighty wings coming towards me. I looked up and saw a huge ice dragon floating in the air above me.
You!
Me?
Don't be funny with me, boyo. What's your name?
I'm Zozo, mister.
I'm Ivan the Ice Dragon, and that means ice is my thing. You think you can steal my thing, you wee little WHITERSTORM? I'll teach you what it means to be truly ice cold.
Ivan fired a huge ice blast down towards me. It nearly hit me, but I was lucky enough to dodge at the last second. Hey, you almost hit me.
Yeah, that's what we in the business call a warning shot, dummy. The next one will come when you least expect it. You want to keep the icy cred? You've got 100 days to earn it, or frostbite is gonna be the least of your worries.
He unleashed an even more powerful ice blast, and this time I just had to run for my life. Gotta beat Ivan, or he's gonna freeze me to my doom. On day 2, I wandered further across the frozen lakes. In weather this freezing, even I started to feel the cold. This is so embarrassing for an ice WHITERSTORM. Maybe I just need some food. I only have 10 hearts. It's important to keep my hunger bar filled up. I searched across the frozen lakes until I finally found an apple tree. It's not easy to grow food in a place this cold, so I needed to enjoy everything I could get. I broke down the tree and ate some of the apples, solving the hunger situation. But it didn't solve the situation of a dread thrall charging out of the distance.
Enjoy those apples, you little baby. That's such a baby thing to do. Eat apples.
Is it? I'm not sure I follow your logic here.
It makes sense when you're a dread thrall, okay? It's like a cultural thing. Anyways, let's fight. Ivan told me that a WHITERSTORM was trying to jack his style. I owe it to him to put you down.
The dread thrall ran at me and unleashed some powerful attacks. I wasn't strong enough to fight him yet, so all I could do was break away from the fight and run for my life. I got out of there as fast as I could, but as I cowered behind a pile of snow, I heard something approaching. I was terrified, worried that it could be the Dread Thrall. Instead, a Cyclops stepped out.
Come with me if you want to live.
How could I deny an offer like that? On day 3, the Cyclops led me across a safe part of the frozen lakes, telling me to keep as quiet as possible.
You need to keep a low profile around here if you want to last. Ivan's Dread Thralls are all over the place.
Where are you taking me?
Shh, somewhere safe. That's all you need to know.
I kept quiet as the Cyclops led me. Then he suddenly stopped.
This is as far as I'll go. It's too dangerous for us all to be in one place. Go forward 50 paces and you'll see a dodo hippogriff at a campfire. Speak to him and then come back to me when you're done.
Okay, understood. I followed the Cyclops' instructions until, predictably, I found myself at the campfire where the dodo hippogriff was waiting.
He sent you. Good. You follow orders. You might have a better chance of surviving than the last one.
Wait, what do you mean, the last one?
You think you're the first Ice Whiterstorm to spawn here? There have been many, and Ivan has destroyed them all out of his evil jealousy.
But if he's after Ice Whiterstorms, why are you and that Cyclops guy so afraid of him and his goons?
Your people have the worst of it, but Ivan is a nightmare for all of us. Anyone who bruises his ego gets destroyed. We want him gone, and with our powers combined, we can make it happen.
What do I need to do?
Go with Cyclops. Train. Get stronger. If he finds you this threatening now, imagine what you can do when you reach full power.
From day 4 to day 5, I carried out the dodo hippogriff's wishes and left with the Cyclops. I knew that if I was going to survive this, I needed to put a roof over both of our heads. Sit tight, Cyclops. I'm gonna make us some tools and get started. I knocked down a tree with my Whiterstorm strength and made the pieces into a wooden pickaxe. From there, I mined into the ground and collected some stone. I had to be careful where I mined and built because some areas were just a thin layer of ice over water. When I had enough stone, I built myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. With my spare stone, I started building a basic 2-room base to protect myself and Cyclops from the elements.
This is a good start, Zozo. Solid, but low-key. This won't attract any undue attention.
Thank you, I think. But it may not have been that low-key. All that building had attracted a dangerous dirt scorpion a long way away from home. As it attacked, this time I fought back until the dirt scorpion was defeated. This gave me the XP to level up, getting 30 hearts and a new power, Ice Blast. Now I can finally start living up to my Ice Whiterstorm name. From day 6 to day 8, I left the Cyclops back at the base while I went out to explore a nearby frosty mountain range called the Alps. Wow, the air is very thin up here. I probably wouldn't make a habit of hanging out up here. But my thoughts were interrupted by an adorable orange and white kitty running up towards me.
Please, stranger, I need some help. There's something terrible happening back there.
Calm down, calm down. What's going on here, kitty?
A dread scuttler. It's horrible, and it was chasing after me. I was so scared.
Don't worry, kitty. You just hang back here, and I'll go take care of it.
Thank you, stranger. Thank you.
Please, call me Zozo. I braced myself and went off in the direction that the kitty came from. It didn't take me long to find the dread scuttler, and with the help of my ice blast and my stone sword, it didn't take long for me to beat it either. Afterwards, the kitty approached me, happy that I'd taken care of the nasty dread scuttler.
Zozo, that was amazing. You're the best.
Please, it was nothing.
Well, if it was so easy, maybe you'll help me take care of a dreadlich not far from here. He's been causing a lot of trouble.
Sure, I'll always do my best. From day 9 to day 10, I followed Kitty's instructions and went further into the Alps. That's where I found the dreadlich waiting.
So, you're the one who destroyed my dread scuttler. Do you have any idea how hard those are to summon? I'll make you pay for this, you wretched little ice whiterstorm.
Talk is cheap, dreadlich. Let's duke it out. But it didn't take me long to regret being so gung-ho. The dreadlich was way tougher than I thought. He tanked my attacks and returned with some magical attacks of his own. My only option was to run away and survive to fight another day. I met with Kitty again and told her the bad news.
Don't beat yourself up, Zozo. You tried your best, and you did an amazing job getting rid of the dread scuttler.
And I'm gonna take care of the dreadlich too, but I need to get stronger first. Why don't you come and stay at my base in the frozen lakes? It'll probably be safer there.
That's a very generous offer, Zozo, and I think I'll take you up on it.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Kitty and quickly set about building a new room in my base for her to stay. I made sure it was the kind of room that'd be really cozy for a cute little kitty. What do you think, Kitty?
I think you did an amazing job, Zozo. So amazing, in fact, that I made a few base upgrades of my own to repay you.
And Kitty certainly had made some awesome upgrades. She created a sheep farm full of, yep, you guessed it, sheep. She'd also created a furnace and a storage room. Are you implying I should go and forge myself some new weapons, Kitty?
Nothing gets past you, Zozo.
I searched until I found a decent cavern for mining, and searched until I found a healthy vein of iron ore. I dug up the ore and took it back to my base with me. There, I used the furnace Kitty built to smelt my ore into iron ingots. And with those and some sticks, I made myself an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Now I'm stronger than ever before. That's what I'm talking about. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to the Cyclops again, asking if he had any advice on how to get strong enough to defeat Ivan the Ice Dragon.
Well, what have you fought so far?
I've fought a lot of things.
Fought and beat, I mean.
Oh, a dirt scorpion and a dread scuttler.
You're gonna need to fight stronger things than big bugs if you want to really level up, Zozo. Go back to the Alps and find something worth defeating there. Only true challenge will help you grow your skills.
Great advice, Cyclops. Following his advice, I went back to the Alps. Even making my way up there was exhausting. This was going to be more challenging than I thought.
Hey, if it isn't the big, goofy, apple-eating baby. I knew I'd find you eventually, and now you're doomed.
It was the same dread thrall who'd hassled me earlier, but this time I wasn't going to talk to him. I was going to fight him, and I was going to win. With a combination of ice blasts and lethal strikes from my iron sword, the dread thrall was vanquished, and I picked up a healing potion he dropped. Once I'd swigged it down, I started to transform. I got bigger, stronger. I had 60 hearts and a new ability, shooting with a wither skull. Half ice, half wither storm. My power is really coming along. From day 16 to day 19, I went from the mountains of the Alps to the even higher frozen peaks. If getting challenged makes you tougher, I'm gonna be as tough as one of these mountains soon. During my journey, I happened upon a book laying on the ground. Its title read, Dread Thrall's Diary. Well, this seems like essential reading. There was a section that read, Ivan's been such a drag since that ice wither-storm turned up. He's so paranoid and stuck in his own head. He started staying in that base in the eroded Badlands. What kind of ice dragon hangs out in the Badlands? It's way too hot there. He's staying in the eroded Badlands? That's really useful information. I looked up and saw another dread thrall standing a few feet from me.
Hey, that's my diary, you jerk! Oh!
Before he said another word, I blasted the dread thrall with a powerful wither skull, and he was no more. From day 20 to day 22, while heading back from the frozen peaks, I wiped out a small but vicious gang of coyotes. It feels good to be so powerful. I think I've earned myself a treat. I returned to my favorite mining cavern and collected a few extra chunks of iron ore. Then, I returned to my base and used the furnace to smelt them into iron ingots. From that, I built myself an iron chestplate and equipped it. You probably can't see it in all my Witherstorm swirls, but it feels good to know it's there. With my new power and new armor, I felt the confidence to go back and settle an old score. I returned to the Alps, where I saw the Dreadlich waiting.
Ready for me to hand you your Ice Witterstorm Heiny, eh, Zozo?
I'd like to see you try, Dreadlich. This time, it was a much more even fight. With my Wither Skulls and Ice Blast, this time I put him down for good. Kitty is gonna be so pleased when I tell her. Suddenly, a chill went down my already chilly Ice Witherstorm spine. I heard the great flapping of wings in the sky above and saw Ivan the Ice Dragon coming towards me.
Oh, there you are, you little plagiarist! You lazy copycat! I'm gonna be the only ice being out here!
As strong as I'd gotten, I still wasn't tough enough to take on Ivan yet. I did the only thing I could and ran. From day 23 to day 26, I made it safely back to my base and rushed to tell Kitty the good news. Hey, Kitty, remember that Dreadlich you were having trouble with?
You mean the one you were having trouble with, Zozo?
Well, those troubles are over. I defeated him.
Perfect! Now Nicely done, Zozo!
I didn't want to rest on my victory for too long. After all, I had only just narrowly escaped from Ivan. I still needed to get much stronger if I was going to take him down for good. I decided to venture back to the mines and have another shot at gathering up some more iron ore. Luckily for me, there was plenty to be found in another vein underground, and I hacked away with my pickaxe. Once I had gathered up enough ore, I smelted it into some shiny new iron ingots. I had plenty to smith myself an iron helmet and sturdy pair of iron boots to match my chest piece. Now, I was fully protected.
Zozo, come have a look!
What's new, Kitty Cat? Whoa! Kitty had been working on an upgrade to my base as a way of saying thank you for helping her out. She'd built a brand new perimeter wall to keep danger at bay. Now I wasn't the only one with added protection. My base and my friends were too. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back to the frozen peaks. Now that a few of the dread thralls and that pesky dread lich were taken care of, it was a bit safer for me to explore the area. Although, I had my guard up when I spotted a mighty behemoth. But was he a friend or foe?
Relax, little Ice WHITERSTORM. Take a chill pill.
Sorry, I can't be too careful with Ivan and his dread horde around.
Oh, that buzzkill. Yeah, I can imagine he would have given an icicle like you a really icy reception.
Are you gonna keep making jokes like that all day?
Sorry, man. I'm just feeling pretty good since you took out all those dread thralls. It's made things around here way cooler. But you know there's still plenty of Ivan's minions around, right?
You're right, and it's not safe for you here, Behemoth. Head back to my base with me.
Sweet! You're a pretty chilled guy, Zozo.
I made my way back to the base with the behemoth. Once we had returned, I was able to grab some wool from the flock of sheep in the pen and use that wool to make some nice decorative banners that really livened the place up. Once the decorating work was done, the Cyclops ran over in a panic.
Zozo, come quickly. I need your help. There is another challenge that might help build your strengths.
Then lead the way. From day 32 to day 35, my Cyclops friend and mentor took me towards the frozen lakes, where we came across a sight that even made my Ice WHITERSTORM self shiver. A swarm of Ivan the Ice Dragon's dread thralls were chasing after Dodo the Hippogriff.
Zozo, help! It's Ivan. He's found me. He's on to us.
I leapt into battle, swinging my iron sword to chop down some of the dread thralls. I let off an ice blast, then another attack, my wither skull blast. I was desperately trying to clear a path to reach the Dodo Hippogriff, but there were just too many dread thralls in the way. No! The dread thralls destroyed the Dodo Hippogriff. I slashed my sword at them, taking down each and every one of them, until not a single thrall was left standing. But I was still too late. From day 36 to day 39, I decided to wander off on my own for a little while. I needed to clear my head and be alone with my thoughts. I hadn't known the Dodo Hippogriff all that long, but I was still sad I couldn't save him. He'd had a lot of faith in me being able to take on Ivan, so I figured maybe my sadness was a reminder that I couldn't take his wisdom for granted. I had to make sure I lived up to the Dodo Hippogriff's expectations. On my travels, I encountered a cactoid in the Alps.
Oh, my. Will you please help me? I'm being pursued by a beastly creature.
Sure thing. Just point me at the nasty critter, and it's as good as gone. The cactoid led me to the creature that had been coming after him, a horrible hellhound. I grabbed my sword and readied for a fight. After all, the Dodo Hippogriff had told me the path to victory was getting stronger, and any battle was a chance to improve. I took down the hellhound with little effort and went back to the cactoid to tell him the good news.
Oh my, thank you, kind, chilly stranger. I've seen Ivan's minions on the move more and more lately. His ego must have been pricked something fierce.
Yeah, that dragon really is vain. He took out one of my friends just to get at me.
Well, he wants to be the only ice creature around. I imagine he feels threatened by you. Take it from a guy covered in spines. Some people only act tough on the outside to protect themselves on the inside.
From day 40 to day 43, I decided it was time to rejoin my friends back at the base. The Cyclops and I had parted briefly after we lost the Dodo Hippogriff, but I thought about what he'd said before. Only with our powers combined could we take down Ivan.
Hey there, Zozo! Glad to see you're back. Don't worry, I've been keeping an eye out while you were gone.
Thanks, Cyclops. Say, this place looks a little different.
Well, I wasn't gonna just sit around on my hands. Have a look around.
The Cyclops had worked really hard at making the base more homely. Just the thing I needed to lift my spirits after losing the Dodo Hippogriff. He'd built plenty of new bookshelves and even a few comfy couches. You know, Cyclops, it's not like we can sit on more than one of these couches at a time.
About that, Zozo, I was wondering if I could invite some guests. There are more Cyclopses like me who have had it up to their eye with Ivan. Would you mind if they came to stay?
Not at all. The more, the merrier. After the other Cyclopses came in and found their places, the Behemoth came over to talk to me.
Say, Zozo, when you've got a moment, I also have a favor to ask you.
From day 44 to day 49, I set off from my base to carry out a quest that my friend the Behemoth had given me. He said that there was a silver Lobo hiding somewhere in the frozen peaks, and that he had some useful info that would help me taking down Ivan, if I could take him down, that is. But while I was beginning my search, I heard the flap of 2 icy wings and had to leap out of the way as Ivan arrived, swooping in for an ambush.
There you are! I thought you would have given up after my dread thralls killed your poor friend, the Dodo Hippogriff. You know, he'd still be alive if you had just turned yourself over and let me destroy you, little Whitterstorm.
What's your problem, Ivan? You're really going out of your way to try and stop me from getting stronger. Seems like you might be a little insecure.
You're a pest. Nothing more than a chilly breeze. I'm an ice dragon. I should be the master of the freezing cold. I'll unleash a whole new ice age on this world. An endless deep freeze. But as long as you're around, you're in my way. So let's see if we can't fix that little problem.
Suddenly, a monstrous reaver burst out of nowhere and came charging towards me. Ivan had already flapped away, leaving his minion to take me on. This creature might be my toughest fight yet. From day 50 to day 53, I got to fighting the Reaver. This thing was one of the most powerful mobs I'd ever seen. It was all brute strength and rage. I deflected its blows with my iron sword, the occasional hit knocking into my armor and causing me a little damage. I'd need to keep my cool if I was going to defeat this monster. Wait, that's it! I blasted the Reaver with my Ice Blast. While the icy attack didn't freeze it completely, it did slow down the beast's attacks. I could dodge out of the way of its fist a lot easier now and got around behind it to deliver the final strike with my sword. The Reaver fell. I had not only survived, but I'd beaten the creature too. But my trusty iron sword was looking a little worse for wear now. Although, much to my surprise, the Reaver dropped something that could come in real handy later on, some mystical diamonds. I'll stash these in my inventory for now, but they could make me a great replacement for my sword. As soon as I touched them, I was granted a magical vision by the mystical diamonds. They showed me a little dragon, just newly hatched. It was Ivan, as a baby. He was scared and all alone, left abandoned on the top of a frozen peak. So that's why he was such a bully. He'd felt so helpless, and now he wanted to be the strongest around to avoid that feeling, even if it meant being mean to others. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search through the frozen peaks until I finally came upon the creature I'd been searching for, the Silver Lobo. This thing was nasty. I didn't even have a chance to negotiate or come up with a peaceful solution. It just lunged straight for me. Lucky for me, I had already tangled with a Reaver and survived, not to mention all the Dread Thralls I'd taken down. So with a few blasts of Wither Skulls, the battle was over as quick as it began. And then I saw the thing that was so handy that the Behemoth had sent me here in the first place. The Silver Lobo dropped a map. It had been tasked with guarding a location that obviously Ivan didn't want me getting to, so I grabbed the map and made the trek back to my base. I needed to speak with the Behemoth.
Hey there, Zozo. It sure is cool to see you back in one piece.
Say, Behemoth, why send me after this map?
Well, I figured you should go to where it leads and find out for yourself.
Will I find out why Ivan wants to stop me from getting stronger?
Oh, I can tell you that. He doesn't like being the weak one, and you intimidate him. An ice dragon like him can harness the frost and the freeze, but you're cooler than cool. You're ice cold. Ice withers are made of pure frozen magic. He only wants to hold you back because he knows you could outmatch him.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to do some more work on my base now that I was back for a while. I upgraded our sheep pen, making it more spacious for the flock so they could roam around a bit easier. Then, I took a look at the map I had gotten from the Silver Lobo and started to follow it to see what all the fuss was about. It only led to a mine filled with diamonds. No wonder Ivan didn't want me finding out about this place. I got to work mining as many diamonds as I could carry and raced back to my base so I could turn them into useful items. Before long, I had a brand new diamond sword to replace my worn out old iron one, along with a new diamond pickaxe to make mining a breeze. Then, just as I was finished, my Cyclops friend came up to talk to me.
Zozo, I noticed some of my fellow Cyclopses were a little bit chilly, so I made a brand new fireplace with them. Hope that's okay.
Sure, even though the cold never bothered me anyway, I'm glad you guys can keep warm. The Cyclops and his new pals had even built a whole new comfy living area for everyone to show their appreciation for being allowed to stay in the base. I had to admit, I was pretty impressed with what they'd done with the place. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to ask around my base for some advice. I knew I still wasn't tough enough to go head-to-head with Ivan yet, but I had to do something to get back at him. And besides, the Dodo Hippogriff had made me realize that teamwork was the best way to putting a stop to Ivan's plans. Eventually, the best advice came from Kitty.
You know from that Dread Thrall's diary that Ivan has a base in the eroded Badlands, right? Well, why not go and scout the place out? You don't have to go in or try and face him. Just take a look from the outside to see what it looks like and how to get there.
Good idea! A recon mission! Thanks, Kitty!
No problem, Zozo.
I made my way to the eroded Badlands, making sure I kept to the shade as often as I could, since the Badlands were so much hotter than the frozen lakes. Even though ice wither-storms like me were pure enchanted ice, I didn't want to run the risk of melting. I was able to get a good look at Ivan's base. It was well guarded by plenty of his minions. The place was crawling with dread thralls. Getting inside was going to be tricky unless I got a lot stronger. Suddenly, I caught the sound of someone sneaking up on me. It was a siren. Oh no, I thought. One of Ivan's perimeter guards had found me. But to my surprise, she wasn't with Ivan at all.
You're an ice wither-storm. Then the rumors were true. Come with me. There is something I need your assistance with.
From day 67 to day 70, I followed the siren as she explained what the problem was.
One of Ivan's dread beasts drove me out of my home not far from here. It's an incredibly territorial creature, and I can't convince it to leave. I need someone to, well, not to be indelicate, but someone that can remove it.
No problem, Miss Siren. I'll handle it. Sure enough, there in a clearing sat the vicious Dread Beast. It immediately sensed the presence of an ice wither-storm in its territory, and I got ready for a fight. After all, I'd been looking for a chance to test out my new diamond sword. The snarling Dread Beast was quick, but only a little bit harder to defeat than one of the Dread Thralls. I swung my sword at the monster, and it fell, bested in combat, and now the Siren's home was free from the nasty intruder.
Oh, thank you, Zozo. I wish I could offer you more than just my gratitude, but know that should you ever need a helping hand, I will come to your aid.
Wow, thanks, Miss Siren. From day 71 to day 74, I ventured out across the eroded Badlands, trying to get a better feel for the area and see if I could come across any hidden passageways or other areas that could offer me some secret way into Ivan's lair. I just needed to find something to give myself an advantage, and if I could get a drop on that egotistical ice dragon, maybe that would help me defeat him. I didn't find much in the way of secret tunnels, although I did pass a strange rock formation. When I looked at it from a certain angle, it almost seemed to spell out a word. If you're enjoying this video and want to see more, then find our other ones by searching ZO or clicking the channel icon below. Suddenly, I heard a familiar flapping of some fearsome wings. Ivan! I must have wandered close enough to his base for one of his dread thralls to spot me.
You never should have come here, Zozo. I'll teach you to trespass.
Ivan fired his icy attacks at me. Under the sun of the Badlands, he was weakened. Either that, or because I was stronger now, I could take more of what he could dish out. Feeling confident, I swiped my diamond sword at him as he swooped down low, but it wasn't enough to cause any lasting damage. I still wasn't strong enough, so I dodged out of the path of Ivan's next ice blast and took cover until he flew off, frustrated he couldn't find me. He wasn't the only one feeling frustrated though. From day 75 to day 78, I headed back to base and went to sit quietly in my room. I was annoyed that I still couldn't beat Ivan in a fight. I knew all about him now, how he had become the meanest, toughest around, so nobody else could harm him, but he still needed taking down. And if I couldn't even manage to do that, then no one else had any hope of stopping him. I wasn't strong enough, and that made me feel like I'd let down the poor Dodo Hippogriff.
Hey, Zozo, don't feel so disheartened. Come and check out the base. We've made some improvements that are pretty... they're good.
It's okay, Behemoth. You can make a nice joke.
They're pretty cool. That's what they are. Here, I'll show you.
The behemoth showed me around the base, eager for me to see the new battlements he and the others had been working hard to install. There was now a brand new watchtower, offering a great vantage point to spot Ivan or any of his minions coming if they ever tried to attack our base. I had to admit, even in my low mood, it helped to lift my spirits a little, but not as much as what came next.
Zozo, my Cyclops brethren and I have been talking, and I've been thinking about what the Dodo Hippogriff said to you about combining our powers. This battle axe is a sacred item to us, and, well, we think you should have it.
I was honored. I took hold of the Cyclops battle axe and hoisted it high. I could feel its magic coursing through me as I suddenly grew larger. It granted me 100 hearts and even passed on some ancient wisdom to me, how to perform a special attack called a whirlwind attack. From day 79 to day 84, I was feeling pumped for a rematch with Ivan the Ice Dragon, so I made my way back toward the Badlands to take him on with my increased strength and the Cyclops power at my side. Much to my disappointment, Ivan was nowhere to be seen, probably hiding back in the safety of his base. I did come across a fire ogre though. This was one mob I really didn't want to let get the better of me. His burning blasts of flame could have melted me. But luckily, a huge gust of wind from my whirlwind attack and some ice blasts for good measure quickly snuffed out the fire ogre for good. But before I could celebrate, I got quite the fright when a ghost appeared behind me. Hey, don't sneak up on me like that.
My apologies. I've been wandering these Badlands for longer than I could remember. Just looking for where I fell in my last life.
Well, I'm sure I could help you look. The ghost and I searched around for a while, and he seemed to be pretty grateful just to have someone to talk to after being on his own for so long. After a little digging, we came across a shiny diamond helmet.
You found my helmet. This must have been where my body was. Thank you, Zozo. Now I can rest. Here, take my helmet. I'd rather it went to someone worthy like you.
This was perfect. Some added protection from attacks would give me an edge against Ivan. From day 85 to day 89, I headed back to my base, only to find a terrifying sight waiting for me, Dread Thralls! They were attacking my base. I jumped into action and drew my sword. I let out a blast of my whirlwind attack, sending Dread Thralls toppling over and flinging them into the air. I cut down 2 with my diamond sword, then froze another with an ice blast. A heavy strike with my sword, and he was gone.
Ah, jeez. They promised that Ice WHITERSTORM was just a big, goofy, apple-eating baby. That's no baby. Let's get the heck out of here.
With that, the remaining Dread Thralls ran off, and I rushed after them. I had to make sure they didn't make it back to Ivan. If they led him to where my base was located, he could destroy all of my friends. I wasn't about to let that happen. I chased the Dread Thralls across the frozen lakes until they were pretty far from my base. I almost lost track of them, but thankfully, I passed a pink pixie who pointed me in their direction.
Hurry, Zozo! Those horrid brutes are tearing through the lakes, causing chaos! Please, give them what for!
From day 90 to day 94, I caught up with the Dread Thralls. They'd ran all the way back to the eroded Badlands. If I didn't act quickly, they'd reveal the location of my friends to Ivan, then he'd attack. They were approaching Ivan's base when suddenly the Thralls stopped. A hideous creature came out to meet them. It was a Gorgon.
What news for Master Ivan?
We found where the big, goofy, apple-eating baby was hiding. But he wasn't no goofy, apple-eating baby. He's a powerful Ice WHITERSTORM.
Silence! Lower your voice. Don't let our master hear. I will break the news to him. First, tell me where I can find this troublesome Ice WHITERSTORM.
After the Dread Thralls left, I ran in to take on the Gorgon alone. I'm right here. The Gorgon gave an angry hiss as I jumped out from my hiding spot and cut down one of the Thralls. I took them out much easier than when I'd first started out, but getting rid of them was only the beginning. The Gorgon attacked. I had to use all the attacks I had learned to fend him off. This was by far my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued trading blows with the Gorgon. I thought of the Dodo Hippogriff and his wise guidance, and of the Behemoth, Kitty, and the Cyclopses, and all they had done for me. I couldn't let them down.
An icicle like you can't best me. Out here in the Badlands is where a serpent like me can thrive.
Yeah? Well, if you're anything like your boss, then you're just talking a big game to hide how uncertain you are. And I never met a snake I could trust. A snake! That was it! A cold-blooded reptile. That's why the Gorgon lived out here where it was warm. If I used my frosty powers, I could make him drowsy, slow him down. So that's what I did, firing off as many ice blasts as I could, despite the scorching sunlight. It was working. The Gorgon's attacks got slower, easier to dodge, and I could slash the frozen parts of his body to chip away at his health. Soon, he had been defeated. I'd done it. I'd taken down Ivan's top henchman. The Gorgon even dropped a key that would get me into Ivan's base.
Wait, don't you want to know what happened to the others?
Others? The other Ice Whiterstorms?
Yes, how my master destroyed them all.
With his dying breath, the Gorgon told me that Ivan, after being abandoned on a frosty peak, devoted himself to being the coldest creature around. He had hunted down other ice withers to absorb their freezing powers and make himself stronger. That was why he had been trying to get to me this whole time. I had to stop him, but I'd need to gear up before the final fight. On day 98, I made my way back to my base, hoping to prepare myself for my final showdown against Ivan. It had all been building to this, and I hoped I was ready. First, I spoke to Behemoth.
Don't worry, Zozo. I'm sure you've got what it takes to take down Ivan. You're the coolest customer I know.
Thanks for that, Behemoth. Then, Kitty.
Zozo, take care! Remember to lick your wounds, and don't fight if you've got a hairball. Trust me on that one.
I'll take your word for it, Kitty. And finally, the Cyclops.
Listen, Zozo, I can't thank you enough for giving me and my Cyclops friends a home. I think the Dodo Hippogriff would be proud of how far you've come. We combined our powers, and it made you the powerful Ice Whiterstorm you are.
I just hope that I'm ready to take on Ivan.
None of us are ever ready for challenges, Zozo. We just have to tell ourselves we are, and remember what challenges are for.
They're to make us stronger. On day 99, I made my way back toward the lair of Ivan the Ice Dragon, passing the Alps on my journey towards the eroded Badlands. When I finally reached my destination, it seemed Ivan hadn't taken the fall of his Gorgon too well. The place was crawling with dread thralls. I knew I could handle a group of them, but this was way more than I had ever seen. What I could really do with is getting help getting past these dread thralls.
But of course, you only had to ask Zozo.
Miss Siren!
My siren song can distract these thralls for a time. That should help you deal with them. You go in there and take on Ivan once and for all.
On day 100, I made my way into the heart of Ivan's lair and came face to face with the frozen dragon himself.
So, you've come to get melted, like all the other Ice Whiterstorms.
No way, Ivan. I'm here to stop you. I understand why you feel the need to be so tough, but it doesn't excuse hurting people.
I am tough. Why do you think that me, an ice dragon, would make my home here in the eroded Badlands? Because I'm strong enough, cold enough to withstand the heat.
Let's see about that. We clashed. The fight was on. Ivan was much bigger than me and could fly, so he already had a few advantages I didn't. But I had plenty of my own. I was smaller, faster, and far stronger than when we had last fought. Like before, I kept trying to take some swings of my diamond sword whenever Ivan swooped down low and came in for an attack. This was working for a bit, but Ivan quickly realized what I was doing and began to stay, hovering in the air to evade my sword strikes. Flapping his wings to stay above me, he launched icy blasts my way, and I had to dodge as quick as I could. But that gave me an idea. Two can play that game, Ivan. I've got the power of ice, and the Cyclops is on my side. Moving quickly, I used my ice blasts. Then I stayed out of reach and fired some wither skulls his way. It worked. One more swipe of my diamond sword would finish it. Hey, Ivan, you really need to chill out. Boom! Ivan the Ice Dragon was defeated. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a devil dragon! A devil dragon in the Badlands? This is so rad that I don't even mind that I'm a baby! I feel like I should start a rock band or something! But before I could come up with a cool name for my new rock band, something huge and dark rose out of the ground in front of me! It was an Endergast! Oh my goodness! I've never seen anything like you before!
Welcome to my domain, Devil Dragon. I am Lord Endergast, the most powerful being in the overworld.
Wow, it's an honor to meet you, your lordship. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yes, you can perish!
Lord Endergast blew a huge fireball at me, which I only narrowly dodged, destroying the summoning circle next to me. Why did you do that? I was so polite to you.
I don't admire politeness. I admire survival. That's why I'm playing the 100 Days game. And if you figure out how to play, you may just be able to survive this.
How can I play a game if I don't even know the rules? But he didn't answer me. He just breathed another fireball at me, and all I could do was turn and fly away. The 100 Days game? I guess I've got to find out what it is if I want to survive. On day 2, I finally stopped after hours of flying through the Badlands, trying to escape the wrath of the nasty Lord Endergast. I can't afford to be reckless against a villain as powerful as him just yet. I only have 10 hearts. If a battle goes bad, I won't be able to survive. But my hearts weren't the only issue. My hunger meter was almost dangerously low. I needed to get my hands on some food soon, or I'd be in real trouble. I searched around the Badlands, which didn't have that much vegetation. I was so relieved when I happened upon a lone apple tree that I almost cried. Sweet, crunchy, delicious, appley goodness! Just what the doctor ordered. I knocked down the tree and started eating the apples that it dropped until I started hearing a rustling noise that sent a chill down my spine. I looked up and saw an ender creeper walking towards me.
Don't be a spoil sport, Devil Dragon. My lord and master wants to play a game with you, but you've got no hope of winning if you don't keep your wits about you.
But I don't want to play this game. Let's just talk, okay? And my name isn't Devil Dragon, it's Zozo. Boom! Before he could say anything else, he detonated, leaving a big hole in the ground and knocking out a huge number of my hearts. Oh no, I don't have any healing items. There's no way I could survive another attack like that. That's when my savior arrived. A fire guardian appeared in front of me. For a second, I was worried he'd attacked me, and then he spoke.
You are the Endergast's latest victim. It may feel hopeless, Devil Dragon, but with our help, it is not. Come with me.
So you're on my side?
If there are sides, yes. The only sides I see are the survivors and the condemned. Follow me.
And so I did. On day 3, I followed the fire guardian across the Badlands as night fell around us. It felt like the enemies coming after me could attack at any time.
What is your name, Devil Dragon?
I'm Zozo. I've only been here for 3 days. I don't understand why so many people are after me.
It's because that monstrous Endergast marked you. To be marked means that monsters and beasts will seek you out. They will hunt you, and they will try to destroy you.
But why? I didn't do anything.
Perhaps he senses potential in you. Potential for fun. It's all a game to him. But I know a being that might be able to help and advise you.
Oh yeah? Who's that?
The game's last survivor.
The fire guardian led me to a campfire where a soul blaze was waiting. He sent me over to speak to the supposed survivor of the Endergast's game.
So, you're the new one he picked. My commiserations. You are in for a horrific 100 days.
But why? What exactly is the 100 Days game, and how did you survive it?
It's a grand hunt. Over 100 days, he'll send everything after you, every challenge and monster at his disposal, of which there are many. You will be pushed to the limit, and you will only have 2 choices, to hide or fight back.
I'll fight back! You can't hide from bullies like the Endergast. He'll never give up, so neither will I!
There may be hope for you yet. Make a base, find weapons, make allies, keep fighting, because if you don't, there'll be no hope for you at all.
He gave me a healing potion that I took for my Ender Creeper injuries and went off on my way. From day 4 to day 5, I started following the Soul Blaze's advice. With the Fire Guardian with me as my guide, I went further out into the Badlands to make myself a base.
Take these tools, Zozo. It will make your mission much easier. You can always make better ones later.
The Fire Guardian gave me a stone sword and a set of stone tools, which I used to start mining stone and cutting down trees. I soon had enough to start building myself a base. It was basic at first, just 2 rooms with some beds, one for me and one for the Fire Guardian. I hope these sheets are fireproof. Once the building was done, I stepped back to look at my hard work. It wasn't much, but it was mine, and I was proud of it. I didn't get to enjoy the moment forever though, as an ender blaze floated towards me, ready to attack. This really is a trial by ender fire. It wasn't easy, but with my stone sword, I was eventually able to defeat the ender blaze and destroy it. And when I did, I got enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, gaining 30 hearts, and big, awesome dragon claws. Looks like I really am playing the game now. From day 6 to day 8, I was wandering through a new biome, the giant taiga, which was full of towering trees and lush greenery. A devil dragon looks kind of out of place here, but I still enjoy the scenery. I wonder if I can find anything out here that'll help me survive the 100 days and fight back against the Endergast. I was so lost in thought that I didn't notice an Enderman sneaking up on me, but when I noticed him, I immediately deployed my claws and started attacking him. He was a formidable foe, but my claws helped me gain victory in the end. That's right, I'd ended the Enderman.
That was amazing, kid.
Who's that? I turned and saw an evoker emerging from the tree line.
I've been hunting and tracking that Enderman for weeks, and you took him out just like that. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the kind words. It's been kind of a rough week.
Tell you what, wanna come help me take out another monster? I'll make it worth your while.
Sure, it couldn't hurt. I mean, maybe it could, but I'm always happy to help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the evoker through the giant taiga until we came upon a deeper, darker part of the forest. What exactly do you want me to take on out here, Mr. Evoker?
Truth be told, I need your help taking on a ghast.
Oh no, it isn't an Endergast, is it?
Endergast? No way, I've never even heard of that. This is just a regular ghast, but that doesn't mean it's not extremely dangerous.
Well then, I guess I'll make sure to proceed with caution. And even that caution didn't do me much good. The power of the gas fireballs repelled me quickly. I had to escape just to survive, then went back to my new friend, the evoker, with my dragon tail between my legs.
It's okay, my friend. Don't beat yourself up. How about we write this one off and come back to take him on another day?
Thanks for your patience, Mr. Evoker. Say, why don't you come back and stay with me at my base? I really need some people on my side right now.
I'll never turn down a free room. Lead the way, Dragon Boy.
From day 11 to day 12, we made it back to my base, and I immediately started working on a room where the Evoker could stay. It was super easy, and before long, he had a brand new place to stay right next to my room. When I was done, he came up to talk to me about something.
Hey there, Zozo. I really appreciate you making me a room, and I wanted to show my gratitude. I hope you don't mind, but while you were working, I took the liberty of making a few upgrades around the place. Come check them out.
I was super impressed. While I'd been busy, the Evoker had set up a brand new storage room where I could keep all my gear and resources, as well as a furnace ready to craft some new equipment. That's so kind of you, Evoker.
Ah, don't mention it. It's the least I could do. Anything else you need? Don't hesitate to ask.
Well, to tell the truth, I could use some advice. I need to survive the Endergast's 100-day-long hunt.
I don't know much about this Endergast fella, but I've been a hunter myself. Let me tell you, a bad hunter will try to make the whole world play by his rules, but a great hunter will know how to use the world around him to his advantage. See what I mean?
It was great advice, and I immediately started to act on it. I headed into a nearby cavern to seek out some iron ore and brought it back to my base. With the furnace, I turned the ore into iron ingots and then crafted a new iron pickaxe and matching sword for myself. The Evoker was right. I could use the world around me to my advantage. That was how I could survive and beat the Endergast at his own game. In my search for more resources, I also made a few extra improvements to my base. I herded a flock of nearby sheep into the area and set up a nice spacious pen to keep them secure. Things looked to be on the up. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to ask my guide, the Fire Guardian, for some advice on growing stronger so I could survive the rest of the hunt.
Taking on the Endergast won't be easy, Zozo, but smaller challenges can prepare us for the larger ones ahead. I've heard some of his henchmen are stalking the giant tiger. If you're using the world around you, then use them to hone your fighting skills.
So, I set off on my new quest to take down some of the Endergast's minions. Reaching the giant taiga, I realized that this wasn't going to be as easy as I first thought, because I was outnumbered. A swarm of ender creepers were roaming around, and I'd already tangled with one of those nasty explosive mobs. But I remembered the advice from the Evoker: use the world to my advantage. The giant taiga was filled with plenty of vegetation, which I could use as cover to sneak up and get the drop on them. I jumped from the trees and destroyed one on the spot.
Hey, where the heck did he come from?
With a swing of my sword, I dealt some damage, then ducked back behind the trees.
Hey, where the heck did he disappear to?
They searched for me, but only found defeat. When the last one remained, he puffed, and boom! The Ender Creeper detonated. I emerged victorious, and one even dropped a handy item, a health potion. Drinking it, I suddenly got much stronger. I had now gone up to 60 hearts, and even learned a new ability, a Flame Breath attack. Oh, now that's perfect for a devil dragon like me. Now I'm cooking with fire. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the world and looking for some more of the Endergast henchmen to take down. I was feeling super confident about my chances after my victory and looking for my next big challenge. I stumbled into a new biome, the Crimson Forest. This place was crazy creepy. As I explored, I came across an old book that seemed to have been left by someone that the Endergast had marked before. If you are reading this, then beware. The one hunting you has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at his adversaries. He fears nothing. That's why he does this. He hunts to feel alive and will do anything to catch his prey. Oh, I'd better watch out. The Endergast seems to have some real issues. I had been so distracted by reading the book that I almost didn't notice a familiar hissing sneaking up behind me.
There's the devil dragon that took out our buddies. Get this fool, boys.
More Ender Creepers! I was nearly caught off guard, but stood my ground and fought them off. That was a close one. Lucky I noticed them, or I could have been blown to smithereens. From day 20 to day 22, after my run-in with that last group of Ender Creepers, I decided it would be best to make sure I was better protected against oncoming damage. So I headed back to the mines and gathered up some more iron ore, turning it into ingots and then smelting those into a shiny new iron chestplate. With all this added armor, and still feeling confident after my recent wins, I thought it was about time I got some more experience and headed back to take care of that ghast that the evoker had been hunting when we met a few days earlier. This ought to be a good warm-up for taking on the Endergast. Sneaking up like I had done before, I gave the ghast a taste of his own medicine and hurled flames its way. I was able to deal a lot of damage, destroying it on the spot. But I didn't get to enjoy the victory for long.
Do you really think you'll be able to best me so easily?
It was the Endergast. Where had he come from?
You really ought to be more careful with how much attention you draw to yourself. I was once like you know. Weak, inexperienced. Do you think anyone made it easy for me? Of course not. I had to prove myself as the greatest hunter of all time, and I'm not about to let an upstart like you undermine me.
Before I had a chance to fight back, the Endergast released a barrage of fireballs. I knew I wasn't going to win this fight. I had no choice but to take cover and retreat to safety. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to make it back to my base, but was careful to make sure I wasn't followed. Lord Endergast had already tracked me down once. I needed to be careful he didn't discover where I'd set up my base. I tried not to feel too defeated. It was still early in the 100-day challenge, and I just needed to keep challenging myself to eventually beat him. Plus, I'd already bested that regular ghast, which the evoker was really impressed to hear about.
That's great. Good going, Dragon Boy. We'll make a world-class hunter out of you yet.
Speaking of which, I decided it was time to get in some more practice of using the world around me to improve my chances of survival. I went off for another jaunt into the mines and gathered up the last of the iron ore I could find. I had plenty to make enough ingots to craft myself an iron helmet and a pair of iron boots. I had a much better shot at resisting incoming attacks. Now I was covered in a full set of armor.
Looking good, Zozo. I had a similar idea. I've been working on protecting the base. Check out our brand new perimeter wall.
The place looked great. Now I would rest easy knowing the base would be defended even while I was away. Plus, it provided added safety so I could survive for the full 100 days. From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was about time I tried to challenge myself again. If I was gonna use my environments to my advantage, then I couldn't limit myself to just the more familiar biomes I had visited. So I headed back towards the Crimson Forest. It looked like this place would be fairly easy to hide in. There wasn't a lot of light, and plenty of trees I could hide behind. Still, I needed some practice and finding good spots in the Crimson Forest to hide, because an iron golem was able to spot me with ease.
Hey, you know I can see you, right?
Ah, darn. I'm just trying to figure out how to survive against the Endergast.
You're that devil dragon that took out his ender creepers. I gotta hand it to you. This place has been nice and quiet since you took care of those guys. But I expect they'll start to muscle in again soon.
Why don't you come back to my base with me? That way, you'll be out of harm's way.
Say, thanks. You're all right, Mr. Devil Dragon.
Together, the Iron Golem and I headed back to base. I decided I would spruce the place up a little, so I gathered up some wool from the sheep and turned that into some fashionable decorative banners. Now we were surviving in style.
Zozo, come quick. The Endergast minions are out looking for those that have been marked.
Wait, they aren't here though. They haven't found me yet.
No, not you. The Soul Blaze. He was the last one to be marked, and he needs our help.
From day 32 to day 35, we rushed back through the Badlands to where the Fire Guardian had introduced me to the Soul Blaze. I couldn't let the Endergast get to him. He'd helped me start out on my journey.
Quick, Zozo! I see commotion up ahead!
A huge swarm of Ender Creepers were ganging up on the Soul Blaze, blocking us from getting to him.
So, the Endergast has finally found me after all this time. Couldn't run forever, I suppose.
The Ender Creepers were closing in, hissing and getting ready to explode. Before I could get close enough, there was an almighty boom, and many of them detonated, taking the Soul Blaze with them. No!
Hey, it's the other marked one, the Devil Dragon. Get him, fellas!
I had to fight back and managed to fend off the few Ender Creepers that were still left standing. But I was too late to save my friend, the Soul Blaze. From day 36 to day 39, I had to go and be on my own for a while. I was starting to worry that I wouldn't see this 100-day challenge through to the end. And even if I did, it seemed that the Endergast wasn't one to admit defeat so easily. Would this be my life now? Spending every day constantly on the run until Ender Creepers finally caught me? My thoughts were interrupted by the Hoglin.
Oi, why the long face?
Huh? It's nothing. Just thinking about some stuff.
Well, you got a minute to spare? I mean, Blaze took my guitar, and I can't get it back.
Sure, but you really should say please, you know. I tried to keep my focus on the task at hand. I still had plenty of days to get through, and if I was ever going to outsmart a hunter as ruthless and unruly as the Endergast, then I needed to become a better hunter myself. I tracked down the mutant Blaze. Attacking it with fire breath probably wasn't going to end well, so instead, I snuck up a nearby hill to get the high ground, then dropped towards the mutant Blaze, scratching it up with my dragon claws and finishing it off with my sword. I gathered up the Hoglin's guitar, and he seemed to be apologetically grateful.
Cheers for your help there. Sorry I was so rude before. This guitar is all I've got to help me survive. I don't know what I'd do without it.
You're right. That's given me a fresh perspective on things. I need to hold on to what I've still got as tight as I can. That way, I'll survive the Endergast and his unfair hunt. From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base and back to my friends. They had helped me make it this far into the 100 days, so I needed to make sure I took care of them as much as they looked out for me.
Welcome back, Zozo. I hope you're feeling better after some time alone.
I am a little, but I think I'll get by with a little help from my friends.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, as we are due to have more joining us soon. I hope you don't object, but without the guidance of the Soul Blaze, my fellow Fire Guardians need a refuge, so I've urged them to come here.
Of course, the more the merrier. Say, have you been decorating in here?
Just a few small improvements.
The Fire Guardian had really been helping bring the place together with some brand new couches and bookshelves. And not a moment too soon either, seeing as his Fire Guardian buddies soon started showing up. After I had helped to greet them, the Iron Golem came up to me.
Hey, Mr. Devil Dragon.
You can call me Zozo, you know.
My bad. I've got a favor to ask. Would you go to my old place and pick up my emerald stash? I left it behind by mistake, and I'm worried I'll get seen by one of the Endergast cronies if I head back on my own.
No problem. Leave it to me. From day 44 to day 49, I ventured back to the Crimson Forest to track down the Iron Golem's emerald stash. It wasn't exactly the most challenging task I'd faced, but at least I was helping out my friends. That was the key to my survival, working together. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one who'd had that idea. The Endergast came bursting out of the shadows towards me, accompanied by his toughest stooge yet, a mutant wither skeleton.
Found you again, and you aren't going to be getting away so easily this time.
You're the one who's found me so many times, but failed to stop me. Face it, you're only trying to prove what a scary hunter you are, because in reality, you're just not that good at it.
I'm an exceptional hunter, and you want to know why? Fear! If you make the creatures of this world fear you, then they'll bend to your whims. For example, let me introduce you to my friend here.
Not tough enough to take me on yourself?
Oh, you naive fool! You think you can goad me? This is all part of my game, making you grow confident, even arrogant. Also, I can make you realize how futile your efforts were when I finally beat you!
With that, he slunk back into the shadows as his mutant wither skeleton started coming towards me, ready to attack. I drew my sword and leapt into battle. From day 50 to day 53, I crossed swords with the fearsome mutant wither skeleton. This was by far my toughest fight yet. With the nasty mob lacked in speed, it more than made up for in strength. I had to make sure to put some cover between me and it when the creature geared up for another heavy attack.
Oh, the little devil dragon only made it halfway. Looks like you won't be seeing day 100.
That's what you think!
Huh? Where did that come from?
I remembered to use my environment to my advantage. While I was behind cover and that mutant wither skeleton was talking, I quietly slipped around to some cover behind him. Now he was looking in the wrong place, and it meant I could get the drop on him. I launched a flame breath attack and struck the mutant wither skeleton with my flames, then charged in to deliver the final blow with my sword. He was down, defeated, but not destroyed yet.
You're tougher than I thought.
Tell me how I can defeat the Endergast.
Defeat him? You'll have to find him first. He resides in the Dover Mountains, surrounded by his most loyal and powerful hunters. You might as well take these.
As he died, the mutant wither skeleton passed me a handful of mystical diamonds. These would come in handy later, I thought, so I held on to them. From day 54 to day 57, I continued to search around the Crimson Forest and eventually found the Iron Golem's emerald stash. Unfortunately, there was a problem. A mutant husk had picked it up, so I hid and waited for it to drift past me, then leapt out, landing a powerful series of claw attacks and dealt with it in no time. I headed back to my base with the emerald stash and was finally able to return it to my friend, the Iron Golem.
Thanks, Zozo. In exchange for this favor, I'll tell you an important secret.
A secret? What do you mean?
The devil dragons! Long ago, they were considered to be the most prized prey to an aspiring hunter wanting to prove themselves. But they were so rare that hardly anyone could catch them. Only one appeared every few hundred years.
That must be why the Endergast is so interested in me. From day 58 to day 62, I worked on making some improvements to the sheep pen, giving those woolly guys a lot more space to roam around freely. But after I had done that, I remembered about those mystical diamonds I had taken from the mutant wither skeleton. I didn't have enough to craft weapons with, but I bet that if I could find some additional diamonds, I could make something pretty special with these. So that's what I did. I ventured down into the mines, and sure enough, there, embedded in the stony walls, were some shiny, untouched diamonds. I knocked them free with my pickaxe and took them back to my base. There, I combined them with the mystical diamonds to create a brand new diamond sword and pickaxe to match. They were both imbued with the magic of the mystical diamonds. It was then that the Fire Guardian came to tell me about some of the new improvements he had been making to the base while I'd been busy.
Take a look over here. I've made the living area more comfortable to accommodate everyone that's staying here at the base. And there's even a fireplace. My fellow Fire Guardians were feeling a little aimless without some fire to guard.
Wow, these are some impressive upgrades. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to have a chat with my old pal, the Evoker. Since he was a more accomplished hunter, I figured he might know something about the mountains where the Endergast's base supposedly was.
Smart call asking me. That's the mark of a hunter who's willing to learn from the experience of others. Mountains, eh? Not the nicest of places. Shame that you'll have to head over there. If you head due west from here, you'll find the path there. But watch your footing. It's a treacherous biome to be in.
I set off in the direction that the Evoker had pointed me in, and before long, I found myself in the mountains. This place looked pretty desolate, even more than the Badlands or the Crimson Forest. Something about all those stony spires made it seem unforgiving. I suddenly got startled and instantly turned to face what I thought was my attacker. I was prepared to face off against some of the toughest mobs working for the Endergast, and when I saw a mutant hoglin, I thought he was after me.
Hey, take it easy, bro.
Wait, you're not here to attack me for the Endergast?
What, that jerk? No way, bro. I'm a hunter. I've been on the trail of a wild blue manticore, a fascinating but aggressive beast. You look like an aspiring hunter too. Fancy coming along to show me what you got?
Okay, let's go. But we should tread quietly. Don't want to attract too much attention.
Ah, good call. I can tell you've done this before.
From day 67 to day 70, I ventured further into the unfamiliar terrain of the mountains. The mutant hoglin hunter was a pretty good tracker and showed me some of the tracks that the blue manticore had left. I took the opportunity to get familiar with this new biome. After all, if the Endergast was hiding somewhere here, I'd need to make sure I could use the mountains to my advantage. Before long, we had found the blue manticore's lair. I took the lead, making sure I was staying nice and stealthy. Once I was at the edge of the cave, I used my flame breath to smoke out the blue manticore into the open. I leapt into action, swiping my claws at the surprised creature. The blue manticore's hide was tough to pierce with my dragon claws, but not enough for my diamond sword. My blade cut through the armored hide with ease, and I felled the beast at last.
That was some nice hunting there, Zozo. Well, happy trails. Maybe I'll see you around sometime, bro.
Huh, what an odd dude. From day 71 to day 74, I continued my exploration of the mountains, trying to figure out where the Endergast had hidden his base. This was a far more dangerous biome than the others I had visited. In some of the more elevated parts, one wrong step could lead to a nasty fall. While carefully navigating a mountain, I was sure that I saw a rock formation that seemed to spell out words. It read, "If you're enjoying this video, then be sure to watch more by searching for Zo. Huh, must be a trick of light. Or maybe this altitude is making me lightheaded. I carefully skidded down to the foot of the mountain, only to see a familiar, frightening face waiting for me. It was the dreaded Lord Endergast.
What do you think you're doing here? These mountains are my territory. How dare you? You think you can track me here to my mountains and expect to make it out alive?
Wow, he's really mad. I didn't expect him to be so precious about the mountains. I quickly dodged out of the path of an oncoming fireball and grabbed my sword. The diamond blade caught the Endergast by surprise, and for a moment, I thought I might be able to actually get the upper hand on him. But he was still too strong, fending me off with ease as he regained his composure. I had to get out of there, and fast. It was time for another timely retreat back to the base. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and sat down in my room for a bit. I wasn't feeling too good about running away from the Endergast again. I knew it was the smartest thing I could have done in the situation, otherwise I would have been done for. But it still stung a little, knowing I hadn't beaten him.
Hey, you Zozo, don't let it get you down. Maybe seeing our brand new watchtower will lift your spirits.
While I was gone, the Iron Golem had been working on adding a watchtower to the base so we could see threats coming from afar. I had to admit, climbing up to the top, that the view really put a smile on my face, but not as much as what happened next.
Zozo, I've been looking for you. My fellow Fire Guardians and I have been working on a thank you gift for you. Here, drink this potion.
I took the magical upgrade potion and suddenly felt myself getting much stronger. Wow, I now had a whole 100 hearts. And to make things even better, I had improved my fireball attack into a mighty dragon fireball attack. Now I was really living up to my devil dragon name. From day 79 to day 84, feeling more confident and much more powerful, I decided to head back towards the mountains to confront the Endergast. But when I made it back to the spot where we had last clashed, he was nowhere to be found. I did have a run-in with a fire ogre. There were so many different mobs in the mountains that this biome was almost like a whole other world. I quickly learned that fire ogres were resistant to my dragon fireball attack, but it didn't fare as well against my sword and the forces of gravity. After I defeated the fire ogre, I searched their lair for any interesting loot and stumbled upon an imprisoned black kitty.
Oh, thank you. That horrid ogre wanted to eat me. Please get me out of here, and I'll show you where they keep their most prized possession.
I helped out the kitty, and to say thank you, she gave me a diamond helmet from the ogre's private treasure stash. Wow, this is great! I've been in need of a new helmet. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back when, to my horror, I was met with the awful sight of a group of ender creepers attacking my base. Hey, get the heck out of here! Scram!
Look out, boys! It's the Devil Dragon!
I rushed after them, quickly checking to see if my friends were okay. To my relief, nobody was seriously injured, although our poor base had seen better days. I remembered my experiences as a hunter and followed the trail of the ender creepers. I made sure to use all of my environment to my advantage, including asking a passing darkness ostrich if he'd seen those creepers.
Yeah, you just missed them. They were heading that way. Take them out. Last thing we want is Endergast goons roaming these badlands.
I caught up with the ender creepers and wasted no time launching a huge dragon fireball attack. But then, it hit me. They were heading back towards the mountains. I could use this to my advantage too. These ender creepers could lead me to the Endergast base. From day 90 to day 94, I kept up with the ender creepers as they fled back to their boss, the Endergast. Sure enough, keeping on their trail led me right to the Endergast's hidden base in the heart of the mountains. I leapt in to finish off the last of the ghast creeper cronies. I had to make sure they didn't reveal my base's location. But before I could even think about what to do next, a huge two-headed nether ogre came stomping out of the base towards me.
So you're the Devil Dragon? You don't look so tough. The boss says it's time to end this game. for good.
This two-headed nether ogre looked like he wouldn't go down easy. I was in for my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed with the two-headed nether ogre. It wasn't an easy fight at all. The ogre was one tough customer. He swung at me, and I had to duck out of the way. Even with my new helmet, he could have knocked my block off. I blasted him with a dragon fireball attack, and followed it up with relentless slashes of my sword. There was no way to use my surroundings to help. I just had to keep up the attack. And luckily, it finally seemed to work. A well-timed fireball knocked the two-headed nether ogre off his feet, and he came toppling over with a loud thud.
Ah, dang it! The boss is gonna be so angry with me.
Why even work for an Endergast in the first place? You're a tough guy. I'm sure even you can't possibly be scared of him.
I got no choice. I was mocked once in his 100 days hunting game. I lasted as long as I could, but he caught up to me in the end. Because I'd impressed him, he forced me to be his henchman for 100 years.
So he could trap me like that too. Man, this guy really is a jerk.
You said it, pal.
With that, the two-headed nether ogre passed on. I had to double back to my base as quick as possible and make sure everything was okay. On day 98, I made the journey back to my base and assessed some of the damage the ender creepers had left in their attack. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad all things considered. Most of the damage was taken by the perimeter wall, and that's what it was there for. Look guys, I need to stop the Endergast once and for all. If I don't act now, then there's a chance he won't ever let me go. You've all helped me get this far, so thank you very much. First, the Fire Guardian came to say goodbye.
The Fire Guardians have your back, Zozo. We will defend all you've built here while you go forth. The Soul Blaze would be proud of you.
Then, the Iron Golem.
Well, Mr. Devil Dragon, you gave me a place to stay out of harm's way, and I'm grateful for that. That's way nicer than the Endergast or his cronies have ever been to me, so I say, go kick their butts.
And finally, the Evoker.
You've become a mighty fine hunter, Zozo. You've listened to all my advice, and there's nothing more I can teach you. Just follow your instincts, and you'll prevail.
With that, I headed off to finally end my 100 days for good. On day 99, I retraced my steps and found myself back where I wanted to be, right outside the Endergast base. He must have realized I took down its two-headed nether ogre because the place was swarming with ender creepers. Just as I was trying to get the drop on them, a familiar face snuck up on me. It was the mutant Hoglin.
Don't overwork yourself, bro. I'll handle these clowns. Slip inside while they're distracted.
Thanks, Mutant Hoglin. Now I could sneak into the base undetected. This was it. On day 100, I reached the top of the enemy's base and came face to face once again with the Endergast. He had been expecting me, but he wasn't too pleased that I'd made it this far.
You again. You really don't give up. Well, since you survived up to day 100, maybe I could find use for you. After all, you did just take down my last top henchman.
No chance. I'm here to put an end to this game once and for all.
Let's see about that, shall we? There's only one way this game ends. My way!
And before any more words could be exchanged, the battle began. I had to use all my strength and experience to take on the Endergast. I thought quick on my feet of a way to destroy him. I tried a few times, hitting the Endergast in the head with my fireballs and dealing some damage, but it had also angered him a lot. He let out a spew of fireballs, and I had to quickly get the heck out of the way. He flew down to get closer to me, and that made him vulnerable. Moving quickly, I used my claw attacks, then showed up with my mystical diamond sword. Then, as he fired his last fireball at me, I deflected it and sent it back his way, finishing him off for good measure. It worked! I had finished it! The Endergast was defeated, and his ruthless hunt was over. I had survived the whole 100 days. On day 1, I spawned into the Aspen Forest as a Speakerman! 10 hearts? Uh-oh, I better play this safe, or I'm gonna be in real trouble! But I didn't have time to form a strategy! Suddenly, the trees started setting fire around me! Some even exploded! What's happening here? Out of the fire stomped my worst nightmare! The many-legged, fully operational G-Man Spider Toilet! The leader of the Skibidi Toilet Army! Oh no, you're the last thing I wanted to see!
I'm the last thing you'll ever see, Speakerman. The Skibidi army will conquer this world, just like it conquered all the others.
Not if my speakers have anything to say about it.
Speak to this.
He blasted me with his laser eyes, knocking me off my rhythm. He was far too strong to fight. All I could do was turn around and run. I ran through the woods, hoping to avoid the laser blasts. When the G-Man was gone from view, I took a moment to relax, but I wasn't out of the woods yet. Literally and figuratively. A swarm of normal Skibidi toilet came out of the trees, all fixed with malicious intent on me. I was outnumbered and out of luck until Sonic Boom! A blast of sound fired out of me, pushing back the advancing toilet squadron. That gave me just enough time to turn and get the heck out of Dodge. The Skibidis are here already. I need to warn the Alliance before they take this world too. On day 2, I went into survival mode deep in the Aspen Forest. My commander must have sent me here to investigate the Skibidi threat on other worlds, but I won't be able to do anything without the proper tools. I found some peach trees and broke them down for wood, piling logs and logs of it into my inventory along with some sticks. I gathered some peaches, which I ate to refill my hunger bar. Can't be a good soldier if I don't have healthy rations. I built myself a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe. From there, I dug up my first stone blocks and made myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And as if on cue, a gaggle of standard Skibidi toilets came rolling out of the tree line. Skibidi, 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 skibidi. So sick of hearing that already. With my new stone sword and my sonic booms, I fought them until the entire squad was defeated. Whew, that wasn't easy, but at least I've cleared the area now. Maybe I should make a base here. With the spare wood I'd collected earlier, I started building myself a basic one-room base. It isn't much, but every war effort needs to start somewhere. On day 3, I headed out into the canyons. There, I could find plenty of stone to harvest. A wooden base is fine for a start, but given some of my enemies have laser eyes, I need something a little stronger. I was halfway through mining stone blocks out of the canyon walls when I saw some strange bony creatures flying above. Soul vultures! One flew straight down towards me and started circling me.
Yeah, fresh meat. Haven't seen one like you before.
Ah, stop biting! I'm from another world, and I'm here to save you all from a terrible threat.
Shush now, Speaker Boy. Food doesn't talk.
The soul vultures descended on me, and there were too many of them to fight off, even with my sonic booms. All I could do was turn and run before they picked me to the bone. I guess not all of the creatures here are unified against our common enemy, but that didn't mean everything here was against me. On my way back through the canyon, I ran into a mandrill sitting alone. She looked upset. Is everything okay, Miss Mandrill?
My name's Mandy, and now everything is terrible. Those diabolical toilets. They destroyed my home and took everything from me.
Those blasted Skibidi toilets! Come with me, Mandy. I'll let you stay at my base. I'm Zozo, and together, we'll get revenge on the porcelain monsters who did this to you.
Oh, thank you, Zozo. You're a hero.
She left with me as we made our way back across the treacherous canyons. From day 4 to day 5, I returned back to my base in the Aspen Forest with Mandy the Mandrill. I decided I should start from scratch, so I tore down my starter base and used the materials I'd collected to remake my base. I ended up going for a toilet base. The plan is to pretend to be one of the Skibidi toilets. I bet they won't suspect a thing. Inside the toilet, I even built a new room for Mandy, giving her a bed and some furniture in there. Figuring we could use some extra luxuries, I also built a kitchen and a lounge, so we could start to feel a little more at home in this strange new place. She seemed delighted with it.
Wow, Zozo, this is amazing. I'm going to rest here and get my energy back. Thank you for all you've done.
Rest well, Mandy. When you're fully recuperated, we'll talk strategy. Mandy retired to her room while I conducted a perimeter search around the area. I needed to make sure that no one found the new base suspicious. That was a good instinct because a squad of Skibidi toilets were right in front of me. I'm putting my war face on. Or I would, if I had a face. I drew my sword and fought them to the last bowl. It wasn't easy, but in the end, my battle experience served me well, and they were destroyed. And even better, once they were gone, they left behind a new tool, an anti-Skibidi chemical blaster. This falling into my hands is probably the last thing that they wanted. I'm gonna make them regret it. From day 6 to day 8, I left for a pasture outside the forest, knowing that we'd need some more natural resources for the base. It was just my luck to happen upon some pigs. Our army is gonna need rations. pork and bacon will do nicely. I herded some pigs back to the base and built a sty for them in just the right spot. I don't have that many pigs, all things considered. That's why I returned to the pasture, ready to shepherd some more. Then, boom! A rocket hit the ground next to me, causing a massive explosion. It left me badly injured. And even worse, when the explosion cleared, I saw the G-Man spider toilet skittering towards me.
Your end is nigh, Speaker Boy. None shall stop the Skibidi army.
Before I even had time to equip my blaster, he unleashed his full arsenal, firing rockets and his laser eyes. There was no way I could fight him, especially injured. All I could do was run away, dodging as best as I could. G-Man was not a force to be messed with. Thankfully, in the end, I still got out of there, injured, humiliated, but alive. From day 9 to day 10, I was back at the base, still recovering from G-Man's devastating surprise attack. He was still a lot stronger than I'd possibly accounted for, but at least I wasn't alone. Mandy the Mandrill approached me while I was in bed with some encouraging words.
You helped me, Zozo, and now I'm gonna help you. The war effort against the Skibidi Toilet Army won't work unless we all pull together. Go look outside. I've made you something that I think will help inspire you.
I went outside and saw that Mandy had been constructing the start of a huge, amazing statue. I couldn't tell what it was yet, but I was so excited to see it when it was finished. Can you guess what it's gonna be? If you can, tell me down in the comments, cause I have no idea. But the statue wasn't the only thing Mandy had been working on. It turned out she was a pretty talented architect. That's why she was able to build a storage room, perfect for the weapons and armors we'd need for an army. She'd also built a training room where we could train ourselves and the anti-Skibidi soldiers, and a furnace for smelting metals. Well, I better get my hands on some then. From day 11 to day 12, I was working in the training room, trying to hone my warrior skills. Mandy the Mandrill came in to join me soon after.
Thank you for taking me in, Zozo. I want to do everything I can to help you in the war effort.
That's good to hear, Mandy. We can't let G-Man and his minions take over the world. It'd be catastrophic.
Who or what exactly is this G-Man and all his Skibidi Toilet minions anyhow?
They're world-conquering monsters, self-replicating, self-motivating. They'll take over everything and leave nothing behind. They tried to do it in my world, and I think my commanders back at the Alliance must have sent me here to stop it from happening here.
That sounds horrible, Zozo. But how can we possibly stop them? There are so many of them, and they're so powerful.
All we can do is fight, Mandy. Fight with everything we've got. That way, even if we lose, we'll lose honorably.
Sounds like a plan to me, Zozo. We'll never let those evil toilets win.
From day 13 to day 15, I went back to the canyons to settle an old score. How can I be expected to be a good soldier and take on the Skibidi army if I can't even beat some soul vultures? The second I saw one of them circling above me, I couldn't help but feel nervous. Then, it spotted me and swooped down to engage.
Back again, Speaker Boy? Good. I was feeling rather peckish.
You don't know what you're doing, Vulture. This is a war. It's Skibidi toilets versus everything else. You don't think they'll come for you too?
War is our bread and butter, Speaker. Skibidi toilets, speakers, animals, all the same meat to us. We just enjoy the remains on the battlefield.
Then I guess I better take you down. But the Soul Vulture wasn't alone. The whole flock came swooping in, and I needed to use my sonic booms to take them all down one by one. When they were defeated, I had enough XP to level up, becoming bigger, stronger, and getting a boost to 24 hearts. But most importantly of all, I developed a new offensive capability, Energy Blast. Oh yeah, that's more like it. From day 16 to day 19, I realized that I needed to create weapons for the war effort against the toilets. That's why I ventured into an abandoned mining cavern beneath the first, ready to take on whatever I needed to in order to win the war. And I came up against resistance straight away, a deadly blaze creeper. It started shooting fireballs at me. I tried to take it down from a distance, but it wasn't working. I got closer, and he just exploded. That was dangerous. Hope I don't encounter any more of these. I should check if he dropped any useful loot. I approached the creeper hole, but instead of finding loot, the explosion uncovered a rich vein of iron ore. Exactly what I was here for. I collected up as much iron as I could, then returned to my base. I used the furnace to smelt it, and used some spare sticks to make a couple of iron swords. I kept one sword for myself, and put the other in my training room. With these, I can start to arm an anti-Skibidi army of my own. With the spare iron, I made myself an iron pickaxe. This would be perfect if I ever got hands on some diamonds. From day 20 to day 22, I was woken up with a start by Mandy the Mandrill. She was hopping around in a blind panic.
Zozo, you need to wake up.
What's happening, Mandy? You're confusing me.
G-Man, he's right outside. Said something about wanting to stamp out the resistance personally.
Oh no, then I better get out there and stop him. I grabbed my weapons and ran out to face G-Man. He wasted no time in firing one of his rockets, which barely missed me.
You've gotten stronger, Speaker Boy, but not strong enough. You think you can stop the ravages of war? We will consume all. The Skibidi rampage will never end. You're not a wall. You're barely even a speed bump.
All this talk, G-Man. I think it's because you're afraid, but I'm not about talk. I'm about action. Let's fight, you clogged up toilet. The battle began. He blasted me with his laser eyes, but I was much stronger than I used to be. I volleyed sonic booms and energy blasted him, and when those had thrown him off balance, I pulled out my Skibidi blaster and let him have it. Clearly, it was all a little too much for him. He broke away from the battle and used his rockets to destroy the blocks between us.
You got lucky, Speaker Boy. Next time, my minions will deactivate you for good.
He skittered off into the desert. I think I saw a crack in its ceramic armor. Maybe I can win this war after all. From day 23 to day 26, I worked tirelessly in order to build an upgraded weapon that might turn the tide of the war against the insidious Skibidi toilets. I had to enhance my own individual abilities so that the next time I met G-Man, I could deal some real damage to him. Since fighting with music was my specialty as a speakerman, I chose to make a guitar weapon that would amplify the sonic frequencies of my speaker head. What an awesome idea for a weapon! I went into the training room to start trying it out on some blocks and found it was insanely effective. Now I'm loud and proud. Proud to be a devoted soldier fighting back against the forces of Skibidi, that is. And if you want to support the cause and help me in my other crazy adventures, remember to search ZOZO in order to find more of my videos. But for now, I'm going to get back to preparing for the battle so that we can win this war. From day 27 to day 31, I was baking some peach pies when Mandy came over to tell me she completed more of the statue and wanted to show me her progress.
This way, Zozo. It's really cool.
Okay, wait for me. I followed Mandy out to the area where the statue was being built and gazed in wonder at what it had already become. This would certainly inspire the troops to fight, but I couldn't help but feel as though something was missing. Hey Mandy, don't you think that part could use a bit of red concrete? You know, to really make it stand out?
You're right. I totally see that. But it's pretty rare around these parts. You'll have to travel to the Grad Gardens for it.
I've never been there before, but if it's for the statue, I'll do it.
Be careful out there, Zozo. The Skibidi enemies are everywhere.
You know me, I'm always careful, especially in enemy territory. Within a couple days' journey, I found myself in the Grad Gardens. Just as I had feared, the Skibidi toilets had already spread to this biome too.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
A bunch of them came at me all at once, so I pulled out my guitar and started swinging away. The sonic waves were more than they could have, and were able to quickly defeat them all. When there were no more Skibidi toilets in the area, I found out what they were guarding. It's a treasure chest with a whole bunch of red concrete and some extra red nether bricks. My quest was not in vain. I gathered the material and began to make my way out of the Cracked Gardens. From day 32 to day 35, I was attacked by another pair of Skibidi toilets while on my way out of the Cracked Gardens. This is bad. There are more of them here than I thought. I struck them down with my guitar and scanned the area for more of the enemy. Thankfully, there weren't any more Skibidi toilets, but there was a swamp pig.
There was me.
You should get to safety. This whole biome is crawling with those creepy Skibidi monsters.
I want to, but not without my best friend, Otto the Ocelot. He was taken by a Skibidi spider, and now he's trapped.
Those Skibidi fiends! I've been fighting against them for as long as I remember.
Maybe you can help me get Otto back.
I'll be all over it, like flies on trash. From day 36 to day 39, I followed the swamp pig's directions to the lair of the Skibidi spider that took his friend. It sounded dangerous, so I went along to spare the swamp pig from the troubles of the battlefield. When I got to the enemy base, I went into stealth mode and searched around for an entrance. I could hear the telltale annoying song of the Skibidi toilets from inside the base, and that told me that I was getting close to where the Skibidi spider was.
Skibbity bop bop, yes yes, skibbity bop, neep neep.
Please stop! Someone get me out of this toilet! I can't deal with any more of this song!
I looked and could see that Otto the Ocelot was inside a dungeon cell in the base, forced to listen to the song of the Skibidi Spider over and over. That's terrible. I need to do something, but I need to be smart about it. Maybe if I tune my guitar a bit, I'll be able to take them by surprise with a new sound. From day 40 to day 43, I snuck inside the mini base and hid myself from the ordinary Skibidi toilet soldiers. All I have to do is deal with the Skibidi Spider who is guarding the ocelot, then I'll be able to extract him and escape. I quietly, carefully made my way to the center of the lair and over to the cell where Otto the ocelot was held captive.
Let me go! You've held me captive for many days, and I can't help you with your war.
I wouldn't Skibidi say that. Your world seems Skibidi short on humanoids, so if we want to make more Skibidi toilets, we'll have to make Skibidi-doo with the animals. You will be the first ocelot to ever join the Skibidis.
No, please, I hate toilets. I try to avoid them.
Skibidi, Skibidi, Skibidi.
No!
Before Otto could come to harm, I stormed in, isolating the spider. Let that ocelot go, Skibidi Spider. I'm the one you want.
I know you. You're that speakerhead that G-Man told me about. I'm going to Skibidi skin you.
The Skibidi Spider charged forth, but I countered with my guitar. Thanks to the tuning I did the other day, my guitar now had greater knockback. Every time the Skibidi Spider got close, I bashed him farther away and dodged his approach. It took a while, but with enough whacks, the Skibidi Spider went down. Come on, Otto, we're busting out of here. Swamp Pig is waiting for you.
Thank you, Speakerhead.
Otto and I made our stealthy exit from the mini base and returned to the Swamp Pig. The two were happy as could be and promised to get as far from the Skibidi toilets as possible. From day 44 to day 49, I transported the building blocks that I was able to find in the Crag Gardens back to my base in the Aspen Forest. It's good to be back after spending so much time in enemy territory. Our defenses are looking a little thin though. I'll do something about that later. Once I was inside the base, I met up with Mandy, who was just feeding the pigs, and I turned the building blocks over to her.
This is just what we need to continue work on the statue. Was it difficult to get?
Not for me. I'll do anything for the cause.
I'll get back to work on the statue, and here is some bacon for you.
Neat. I'm gonna work on something too. I went back to the perimeter of the base so I could do something about the lacking defenses I spotted earlier. The solution was simple, yet effective. A perimeter wall around the entire base. The Skibidis will have a hard time getting through that. When the wall was done, I went to see Mandy. She had already completed the next part of the statue. Looks like we were both working hard.
It's like you said before, Zozo. Anything for the cause.
That's right, Mandy. We're gonna win this war no matter what. That moment, I felt really inspired. From day 50 to day 53, the G-Man brought a big army of Skibidi toilets to attack the base. The new defenses were able to slow them down, but we were definitely outnumbered. Even so, there was no way I'd give up. It was time to fight. You're going down the drain, you toilets.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
With the knockback of my guitar, I kept the Skibidi toilets at a distance so that I could take them on individually. When they crowded, they were strong, but on their own, I could handle them. Divide and conquer. That reminded me that I was also fighting alone. Oh no. Mandy, I have to make sure she's okay. The G-Man spider toilet had Mandy in his terrible grasp. I almost couldn't watch.
Speaker boy, you've survived longer than we expected. But the next toilets we send after you will be like nothing you've ever seen. We'll make your mandrill friend into one of them.
I won't let them change me, Zozo, but come and rescue me soon.
Mandy and the G-Man disappeared into the distance. I vowed to myself that I'd get my friend back. But first, I had to take out the rest of these Skibidi toilets. With my trusty weapon, I cleared out the base and began to feel strong as a new form of power took hold within me. I grew into a big speakerhead, feared by Skibidi toilets everywhere. I had 40 hearts and a brand new ice blast attack that would freeze the Skibidi enemies solid. From day 54 to day 57, I restored the base to its former glory. The attack had been devastating, but even more devastating was the loss of Mandy, my friend, my fellow soldier, Mandy. If the G-Man made her into the first mandrill Skibidi toilet, I might have to… No, I don't even want to think about that. I have to save her! I was full of concern for the animal mobs of the world because any of them might get turned by the G-Man and his many Skibidi toilet minions. I decided to return to the Crag Garden and see if the Swamp Pig was still around that area. Sure enough, he was.
I am. I'm around the area.
You are. Not to be rude, but weren't you going to go somewhere safer?
There aren't that many safe places left. You did a great job fighting the Skibidi toilets when you were here last time, so me and Otto thought we could hold out here.
This war has gotten really bad. There must be a base of operations where their Skibidi toilets are coming from. If we beat them there, maybe we can stop their armies from spreading.
I've heard that a lot of Skibidi toilets have been seen and heard, coming from the Crimson Forest.
If that's where the enemy is coming from, I have to proceed with caution. Still, this intel might help me save the world. Thanks, Swamp Pig.
I was thanked.
From day 58 to day 62, I mined for some diamonds because it was high time that I got myself some diamond gear. I need to be fully equipped when I face down the Skibidi toilets on their own territory. It's diamond or nothing, man. I walked further through the cave and came to a dead end. I started digging and broke through into a massive cave. It was teeming with diamonds. And one very big tarantula. Oh, spiders are freaky. I don't want to get near this thing, but my anti-Skibidi ranged weapon won't work on it. So melee it is. I drew my guitar and squashed that spider with a few decisive smacks. I wonder if this is where those spider toilets get their legs. You know, I forget I asked. I gathered a bunch of the diamonds and crafted myself a diamond pickaxe and diamond sword. Success! From day 63 to day 66, I was walking by the incomplete statue in the base and decided to spend some time looking at it. Mandy had been doing her best to complete the statue so that it could be seen by all, and I did my best to help by getting the materials for it. We worked together. That was teamwork, and teamwork is the only way we can defeat those Skibidi toilets. I will rescue Mandy and defeat the G-Man and all of his toilets. For the sake of this world and all the creatures living in it, we will win! And if you want to get in on the teamwork, you should hit that subscribe button so that you can see my videos whenever they come out. The more subscribers the channel gets, the bigger our team gets, and the more Skibidi toilets we can defeat. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe! From day 67 to day 70, I infiltrated the Crimson Forest so I could see what was going on behind enemy lines. Before too long, I could see a huge base that definitely belonged to the Skibidi toilets. Bet that is some kind of weapons research lab. You've probably got Mandy held captive inside there. Hang on, Mandy. I won't let them turn you into a Skibidi toilet. I got out my anti-Skibidi chemical blaster and made my way towards the entrance. There were two classic model Skibidi toilets standing guard over the gate. Both noticed me and began to run over.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
Skibidi dot dot no! I blasted the Skibidi toilets with the chemicals, which flushed them away for good. This alerted some other toilets, but by then, I was already inside the enemy base. Bring it! I'll flush every one of you! From day 71 to day 74, my devotion to the cause brought me deeper into the enemy's base. I had never been in a place with so many Skibidi toilets, but at this point, I wouldn't let anything stop me. Just one soldier, but if I fight well enough, I can keep taking them on and moving ahead. While I was expecting trouble, I was surprised to see the soul vultures had also come to roost in the Skibidi toilet base. Those guys had never been nice or helpful, so the reunion wasn't a happy one. Let me guess, something about meat, like how you're gonna eat me?
Skibidi, skibidi, skibidi.
Huh, Skibidi? Did they get you guys or what?
Nah, just kidding. We soul vultures never change. We're all about scavenging and hunting, baby. It's living.
Well, I don't know if I'm relieved or annoyed. Let's just fight. I took out my diamond sword and cut down the soul vultures. They weren't that difficult to beat now that I'd powered up. In the same room that I was attacked by the soul vultures, I found a chest with a full suit of diamond armor. Super! I can take on the world in this. I could hear the Skibidi song getting deeper and louder, which meant that I was getting close to the G-Man. This'll be the rematch of the century. From day 75 to day 78, I found the evil Skibidi toilet laboratory where the G-Man had been keeping Mandy. They had her caged, just like she promised. The Skibidi toilets were unable to turn her into one of them.
You made it, Zozo. I was waiting this whole time, and I knew you wouldn't let me down.
I would never leave behind a fellow soldier, Mandy. We're in this together. Let me get you out of those restraints. I freed Mandy and broke a hole in the wall so she could escape. Run back to base. I'll be right behind you. Just then, G-Man's spider toilet burst into the room.
Well, we meet again, Speaker Boy. You're not going to get away this time.
You think I'm running? No way, G-Man. This is where I take you down and end your reign of Skibidi terror.
With those old tricks? I doubt it.
G-Man was right about one thing. He had seen my Sonic Blast and Anti-Skibidi Blast before, but I still had something he hadn't seen yet, my Ice Blast. I continued to hit him with the regular stuff to lull him into a false sense of security. Then, with perfect timing, I Ice Blasted him right in his big creepy face. When he was stunned, I closed into melee range and swung my guitar with all my might over and over. I shot several more Ice Blasts because they seemed to be working. Then I knocked G-Man back into a wall. His spider malfunctioned and started smoking. From the looks of it, the attack had beaten him, or so I thought. From day 79 to day 84, the G-Man spider rose from his fallen state and began to chant his Skibidi song while he grew larger.
Skibidi, 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 skibidi.
G-Man became a truly powerful monster, the strongest Skibidi toilet ever. The peak of their horrible evolution. Uh-oh, I'm not equipped for this.
What's the matter, speaker boy? Scared? Even your best weapons can't touch me now. I have gone to a level beyond. Soon, all things will be ruled by the cold porcelain of the Skibidi toilets.
I will never let that happen. Mark my words, I will find a way to counter your new form, just as our side has done for every Skibidi toilet that came before.
But for now, you must run. You must warn all the world that I am coming. Skibidi, skibidi, skibidi.
I made a tactical retreat, as the G-Man predicted I would. This next battle would be a difficult one, but maybe, just maybe, it could win the war. From day 85 to day 89, I had made it back to my base and had begun thinking of a new strategy to take down G-Man's Skibidi Spider Toilet's brand new Super Deluxe Skibidi mode. I was stumped because the previous fight forced me to use every weapon I had at my disposal. As I continued to puzzle, Mandy showed up and decided to help me come up with a new weapon. Any ideas, Mandy?
Yes, you've tried Sonic, Energy, Chemical, and Ice. But what about fire?
Mandy gave me a fire aspect enchantment to put on my diamond sword. Now I could burn up Skibidi toilets with fiery sword slashes. But will it be enough?
Don't worry about that right now. I want you to see the statue. It's completed, and it looks great.
The statue was the Titan SPEAKERMAN, an inspiration for all speaker heads everywhere. Looking upon his imposing form reminded me that I could keep fighting and win this war. But how? We're so close, yet G-Man is so powerful.
He isn't invincible. You nearly beat him last time as you are right now. If you grow to his size, it'll be an even fight.
You're right. Another power-up would be exactly what I need to win the battle.
I'll bet there's some Skibidi tech you could steal from their own base in the Crag Gardens.
From day 90 to day 94, I made my way back to the enemy stronghold in the Crag Gardens in search of a power-up that would make me as strong as G-Man. This time I didn't need to go to stealth mode because I blasted my way through the base with fire and ice, taking down every Skibidi toilet I met along the way. I wasn't even losing hearts fighting these Skibidi toilets anymore. They weren't even a threat. Only G-Man were the same. After a bit of a search, I found what I was looking for, a potion of power that could turn anyone into a super strong version of themselves. I'll examine this back at my base and make sure it's safe to drink. From day 95 to day 97, I was back at the base experimenting with the potion and gearing up to take on G-Man when I got a surprise visit from somebody I never expected. It was Swamp Pig.
Hey, what's cooking? You cooking up the diamond armor?
I'm warming up to take down the G-Man. Let's not question my methods, okay? Anyways, what's up, Swamp Pig?
Okay. I just came by to say that the world is a lot safer now that you defeated most of those Skibidi toilets. If you can take down the G-Man boss, then this war will be over at last. I want to help with that, so I'm giving you this.
Swamp Pig handed over a full set of netherite armor, the best defense I could have for the final battle. Dang, Swamp Pig, where did you find this?
In the swamp, obviously.
That explains everything. Anyway, thanks. I equipped the armor and felt cooler already. On day 98, the war was looming, and I was starting to get a little nervous about the fight. Then, I remembered what I was fighting for. A world safe from Skibidi toilets. Think that all of us would like to see that. What else would you like to see? Tell me who you want me to be next in the comments below. Don't forget to go search for more Zozo videos as well. There are so many to watch, and all of them have their own amazing stories and fun. That's ZOZO. Go check it out. On day 99, I launched my attack on the Crimson Forest, finding it mostly deserted. I walked past the reception, the corridors, a terrarium where I found a vent shaft through, which I crawled deep into the base. It's incredible. I can't hear any silly Skibidi songs. Maybe they packed up and left. I I kept crawling until the shaft gave way to my weight, and I dropped and landed right in front of G-Man.
You wish, Speaker Boy. Skibidi will never die as long as there is someone to carry on the chorus.
It was G-Man.
It was me.
Hey, that's Swamp Pig's joke. You can't steal it.
Actually, I can. Everything in the world belongs to Skibidi now. I am too powerful to be Skibidi. Stop, doop doop. Yes, yes. Your reckoning is upon you, Speaker Boy.
You know something, G-Man? They say everybody wants to rule the world. I don't know if that's true. I just know that you won't get to. I downed the potion of power, immediately growing to the same size as G-Man with 100 hearts. He fired his laser at me, but I could fire one too now, so I counter-lasered him. I'm a firing my laser! He was not expecting that, so I mixed it up with Ice Blast, Chemical Blast, and Sonic Blast. We circled around each other, closing in as we launched projectiles. I drew my fire-enchanted diamond sword and swatted him with it. The fire seemed to hurt, but I wouldn't let him adapt, so I kept changing my attack. Ice Blast, Fire Slash, Laser Blast! The fight was tense and close, but with all my different weapons and my dedication to rid the world of Skibidi toilets, I managed to flush G-Man for good!
Ah, Skibidi, no!
On day 100, I basked in the glow of my victory, no, of our victory, as I returned to base and celebrated with Mandy and Swamp Pig.
Hooray! Zozo is our hero. The Skibidi toilets are gone for good.
This was an achievement that would go down in the history books, because together, with all of our crafts and innovations, we did something that nobody else had done. Defeat the G-Men Skibidi toilet and save the world from Skibidi domination.